everybody. Welcome to episode 200 of Frame Trap. I am your host, Brad Ellis. I'm joined by my co-host, as always, Michael Damiani.
Yo, 200, baby.
200. And Michael Huber.
Should have spiked this with some vodka to celebrate.
Yeah, got a party. And we got Dawn hanging out in the booth for a little bit. Say hi, Dawn.
Hello, everybody.
Yes.
Take some shots out of that cap, Huber.
Yeah,
Don must be feeling really good, right? After seeing the Cowboys get beat up yesterday by Buffalo. How'd that feel, Don?
It was nice to see him lose. What was it? Well, they didn't win. I was going to say it was nice to see him just lose on, without the refs. It was nice to see the refs not give him another win. Put him that way.
Chad, if you follow Don in football at all, like I've never heard anyone talk more shit on officiating than Don Casanova, and I'm here for it because he brings up some damn good points with some evidence too. He has receipts.
Yeah,
that's the whole thing. It's not slander. It's not libel. If it's the truth, that's why I'm bulletproof.
Check your eyes, Blue.
Oh my God, Don.
Yeah. Just in case you didn't know. Oh wait, do you have more to say, Don? Maybe go ahead.
Oh no, I just say, Don. I want to hear all the complaints when we play the Niners again in the NFC Championship game.
Oh man,
I can't wait. I can't wait to hear the excuses then.
We'll be ready.
This is episode 200. In case you didn't know, this is the final episode of Frame Trap, so we're going to make it a good one. I know a lot of you out there wanted Ben Ward to show up, but he could not make it, unfortunately. But he is doing well. Just want to let y'all know Ben's doing great.
Hell yeah.
But we're going to move on with the show. We got a great show. First of all, it is the holiday season, boys. It's been a good time. I've been watching some Christmas specials.
Nice.
I watched The Peanuts, of course, my number one.
Hell yeah.
And I watched Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Hell yeah. You gonna watch Frosty?
Well, you kind of scarred me on Frosty first. Huber, why don't you tell him your Frosty story?
What?
Your damage with Frosty.
Oh yeah, I mean just like I weep when I watched that as a kid. It traumatized me my whole life. I still feel the pain of Frosty because there's multiple Frosties. There's like the original one, and then there's the other one where it's like the summertime.
Yeah.
And Frosty needs to survive like in the summer. And they're doing their best to keep like Frosty cold and alive. It's like so dark, so sad. And, they're like, we all have some like traumas that stay with us our whole life. And for me, Frosty the Snowman is one of those traumas.
Damn, dude, because he just melts.
Yeah, it's
a sad man.
It is sad.
So is his spirit part of the hat?
Yeah, it's the hat.
Okay. Yeah, so as long as the hat's okay, you can like resummon him?
Yeah. It's just on like cooldown probably.
Yeah, okay, yearly cooldown. Yeah. It's got to be cold enough.
Yeah.
Have you guys watched anything for the holiday season? I know Dominic likes his Home Alone movies, and he watches a lot of movies. Dominic, have you seen anything?
Let's see. I've already watched Elf. I watched
Hold on,
Christmas
real
Vacation.
Quick. How does Elf hold up? Yeah. I remember seeing it and thought it was okay, but I know people love it now.
It's like it's still enjoyable. I think you see some more of like the timelessness. There are definitely some. It definitely feels a little bit more evergreen. The evergreen parts hold up more than maybe the stuff that was a little bit funnier when it came out. But it's weird because when it first came out, I remember it seeming so new compared to like classic films, and now what's like almost 15 years later since it came out, or almost 20 years now. And it's like, oh yeah, this even like looks a little bit dated now, like visually. I'm like, yeah, like, all right. It has that really good opening because you mentioned you watched like Frosty and like the old classics. Mm-hmm. Well, the beginning does that type of animation when he's in the North Pole. They do that old school style, which is kind of nice to see that. So they have like that going on. It's like not laugh out loud funny or anything like that. Whereas Christmas Vacation, obviously,
a classic.
To me is just seeing like Clark like descend into madness over like the 2 weeks or whatever. and like all like
kiss my ass, kiss his ass, kiss your ass.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah, it's I mean, clearly there's some things of it that like, you know, when it came out like the end of the 80s, so there are definitely some dated things in there.
Sure.
But like at its core, I think everyone can relate to like, having so much family over and trying to like have a perfect Christmas, because like that's like his thing at the end is, despite everything, like the last shot is just like on him saying I did it, and he's like so happy, and it's like, there you go, that's like all he wanted was like, you know,
want my Christmas bonus, Damiani.
Dude, the Christmas bonus thing was like hilarious, because like I was actually thinking about it, I was like, wait a second, this is like what, 1989? Then the boss is like, whatever you got last year, add 20%. I'm like, is that actually a lot of money back? Like, I was like, yes, like, how much is that? Like, I was like, I don't know, because he like faints to it. I'm like, oh, all right, sure, that must be a lot of money. Yeah. So yeah, those two classics. You mentioned Home Alone, obviously, but I watched a little bit of Home Alone 1 with my nephews, because Home Alone is like one of their favorite series. They actually like all 6 of them.
There's
six of them.
6 now? Yeah. The newest one though was like solid, right?
I liked it.
I don't know what the newest one was.
I thought the new one was like refreshing.
Yeah.
Surprising.
Oh, okay.
I still need to watch that.
It's very surprising. I would recommend it for sure. I wasn't expecting it at all.
Okay.
And the who is it? Buck or whatever. It plays like an adult cop in this one, which is interesting.
Whoa!
So he
yeah.
suddenly pops back into the franchise. Yeah.
That's wild.
Dude,
Whoa.
Home Alone continuity.
It's very entertaining though. It was good. I was surprised. I didn't think they could
I didn't like whatever the one was. Was it 4 or 5? I don't think I saw the most recent one, but one of the near the most newer one. It brought Harry back, and Harry had like a girlfriend. He wasn't working with Marv anymore. It was a completely different actor, and they brought Kevin back. And
Wait,
it was
a
like
different actor for Harry?
Did different actors for all of them. Kevin's dad got divorced and was like dating some like new.
No,
it was so like family's torn apart.
That's weird.
And like, yeah, and the whole plot is like Harry's trying to like do a heist in the house while there's like a big party going on. So it's like, and it's super low budget. Like it's like fan fiction. I was like, oh dear,
that just depressed me.
Fan fiction.
Yeah, it is. Oof. Oof. Yeah, it's not. And Kevin looks younger than he did in either the first 2 films, which is hilarious. I'm like, wait,
it's like The Simpsons.
Older. Yeah, now he's younger. Yeah,
that's weird.
Maybe one day they'll retcon it and then like have a sequel to 2 with Macaulay Culkin. He's like older, like they did with Halloween.
James Cameron's Home Alone 3.
Oh shit. Dawn, have you watched anything?
Oh yeah, I've already started it off right after Thanksgiving. I watched Christmas Vacation, of course, which is like all the way up there. Although I got to say, Christmas Vacation, absolute top. It has to be number 1. But I do think it's like from the point when, you know, spoilers, the kidnappings type stuff at the very end. Like, I don't like the resolution. Basically, the very third act kind of bums me out of that movie every time. Like, there's no great payoff, but it almost doesn't matter because everything leading up to the payoff's like. So just
dude, when they like
perfect.
Swarm into the house though, it's pretty
like
insane.
A classic 80s. Like that happened in every single like whenever late 80s, early 90s comedy where like suddenly they had to have like bring in like a platoon of police or something. Any comedy that had a budget, like some had to bring in like a legion of police in the third act. And so it kind of. It is funny, but so that, and then you know what's one that I like? That's like I don't even laugh that much or anything, but I just remember my dad really liked it, so I still always watch it. Is Planes, Trains, and Automobiles? That's a real old.
Oh yeah,
I really watched that one, which is that one's always good, I think. And then
you just reminded me, Dawn. I grabbed a ton of. Like bookmarked a ton of Christmas videos. Just like forgot to watch this year already, so I haven't watched Jingle All the Way. I haven't watched that one.
Dude, Turbo
I need to
Man.
watch that. I have to watch that. I have to watch Scrooge. Scrooge is a big one, and I like somehow just it slipped through the cracks. Like this year, and I haven't seen it yet. I was like, no, I got to rewatch Scrooged.
Hell yeah!
Damn. I need to watch The Grinch, dude.
I gotta watch Krampus.
Oh, The Grinch, yeah. And you know that Universal, like the new animated one, every time I see that one, I like it more. I don't know. I think they did a nice job. You didn't like it, Tom? You like
Well,
that one?
my nephews constantly ask me to put on the Grinch music
It's
video from that.
so good.
The Grinch song.
Yeah, I
So
think
they
it's
don't want to
okay,
like
Dom.
listen to it all the time.
So it's become annoying for Damiani. I understand that.
Well, just the song. That's like, all right, the 30th time. It's cool. Next song.
Yeah. And like I think I'm on cooldown still from the Christmas Story or whatever. Just like because they play that like 24 hours.
I already
and I've
watched
seen it
that
so
one.
many times. I feel like
rewatch that one.
it's a great movie. I'm just like, take a
I
break.
feel like that went on cooldown like 15 years ago for me. at least.
They really really pushed that one.
Yeah.
But dude, I'm hyped after Christmas because I watch Rudolph's Shiny New Year, and this is the one I was telling you about, Huber, where Rudolph gets an RPG party.
Yeah, that is insane.
It's insane. You guys need to watch this. I just saw it's all on Daily Motion, the entire movie. It's 50 minutes.
Hell yeah.
You can watch it there for free.
That's clutch.
We're coming up soon, though, on my most beloved holiday movie watching tradition.
Oh?
Okay, that's
Oh,
when
what's that?
I always try to do it in one day if I can. Lately, the last couple of years, is not always feasible just because of lifestyle. But my rewatching of the 3 Hobbit films in 3D is one of my
in
most
3D?
beloved Christmas traditions.
Hell yeah.
Wow, Don, that's cozy.
I
You go
just-
extendeds for those?
Well, the extendeds aren't in 3D, so I watched the regulars.
Well, the third one extended's like too long. It's too long.
Rated R.
Rated R though, but just too long.
Yeah, I love rewatching those. Just so many good memories of, because they always were December releases. I just have like
Oh my
such
God,
fond
yeah, they were.
family memories being in the theater. Like that was one of the only times it was for the first one that I saw a movie like with my grandma in the theater.
Sick, dude.
And my uncle and stuff. I have like family that
Hell
I
yeah.
never saw another movie my whole life, and I saw Hobbit with them somehow just because of the holidays.
sick,
people were
dude.
together.
I will die on the desolation of Smog Hill being as good as the Lord of the Rings trilogy. I will die on that hill. 10 out of 10.
Yeah, it's
Obsessed.
The whole beginning of that is
Obsessed with it.
I will say
Obsessed with
there's
it.
parts of that
It's
movie
obviously not as good as those 3, but it's right there. It's right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I enjoy the
Your
movie.
opinion?
I don't think this is good, but I enjoy. I think the Smog stuff is god tier, like the best. But some of it, yeah, it's a little rough for me. But I think it's definitely a really fun watch.
Not
Yeah,
one.
that's that last movie. That's the third one.
Yeah.
Oh, man. But yeah, they yeah. I mean, I've said before, getting the extended editions of the original trilogy, the Lord of the Rings trilogy, was like a big thing for Christmas.
Oh
But
yeah.
I did watch a new Christmas film this year because it just came out this year. Gave it a try. That Candy Cane Lane on Amazon with Eddie Murphy.
Dude, Eddie Murphy.
Oh, I never heard of
curious.
that.
It was
cool?
like okay. It
Cool.
like was okay. I mean, it was like maybe it needs like another 10 years to feel like, a little bit more like classic. Because it feels so like new, like everything about it feels new. So I'm like, it's like, I don't know. There's like, I feel like there's what's the opposite of a recency bias? I mean, I guess it is a bias, but not a good one. It's like a, bad recency bias. So like you favor nostalgia.
Yeah.
Though some, like, again, not all of them hold up. I don't think I ever saw it before, but Four Christmases, that wasn't good. That was
4 Christmases. Oh, I like that
Yeah.
one. You didn't like it?
I didn't really like it too much.
Have you watched The Holiday? Watch The Holiday.
Which
What
one
do
is
you like
that
about it?
one?
It's got Kate
The
Winslet,
Holiday?
Cameron Diaz, Jack
breakdown.
Black. The
Okay, I
Holiday.
haven't
10 out of
even
10.
heard
10 out of 10.
of
10 out of 10.
that.
Highly recommend.
The only
I
other
don't
ones
think
are
I've heard of
like
that.
Deck the Halls with Matthew Broderick and Danny DeVito, where they're competing. It's okay, and like Christmas with the Cranks was like, I haven't seen that one in a while,
Oh, I
but I
never
remember
saw
it
that
being
one.
like,
Oh, I think my parents
whatever.
like that one.
Yeah, I think it was like for maybe like older generation.
Yeah, it's for boomers.
Okay, 1 second. There's one that never comes up anymore. I don't know if it's just like it's like just too bad. You shouldn't watch it anymore. I haven't even rewatched it probably like 15 years. Bad Santa. Is that
Bad
like
Santa,
what
dude.
happened to
Love
Bad
Bad
Santa?
Santa. Love Bad Santa.
I saw it one time years, and
Yeah.
I don't remember ever seeing it again. I think I never saw it.
Yeah, I don't remember anything from that movie.
Hardcore.
He's just like an asshole to everyone. It's just Billy
Billy
Bob
Bob
Thornton being an
Yeah.
asshole, and he gets
I like
stuck
Bad
with
Santa.
a kid, and like
It's good.
I don't know.
Good pick,
Yeah.
Damiani. When are you going to watch Die Hard, dude?
That is, I do that with since I'm here by my family. I'm gonna watch it with my like dad this coming weekend,
Dude,
because the whole
such a
family
bad
be
movie.
over.
Hell
so we're gonna try and watch it. And I have it. I have it on physical in case like 'cause it's not on any of the
Dude.
services. So I'll bring that over. Also,
see it
8-Bit
in
Christmas
the
was not
theater.
good.
What?
Was it last year or 2 years ago? 8-Bit. I didn't like 8-Bit Christmas. We did this already. It's the
I don't even know what
Nintendo. Like it's a flashback to like trying to get an NES or something. Or a kid
Oh,
got
it
an
wasn't
NES
good?
and I didn't. It was like Neil Patrick Harris made it, so I had high hopes for it, but I did not like
Love
it.
MPH.
I felt it was like a little too like trying to pander too much to haha NES, haha Nintendo. Like
Sometimes
but
I
it,
want to
like,
be pandered
didn't
to.
land,
Mm.
but it didn't feel like funny or enjoyable.
Yeah.
It just felt like someone was just saying this stuff because they read it off like Wikipedia. I'm like, oh,
Damn.
well,
Fanfic.
yikes! Like soul. It didn't have soul. It felt like it was like put together.
It felt like a product.
Yes, felt like a product. Like shareholders got involved.
Man, that's funny.
Huber saw Die Hard in theaters. That's
Theaters,
awesome.
dude.
I'm envious of that. That
Yeah,
must have been
that's sick,
sick as
dude.
hell.
Incredible.
Wow.
In the theater.
I got to shout out another Christmas adjacent sort of one
Yeah.
of my favorites, Batman Returns.
Oh,
fuck yeah.
Oh,
Beautiful
yes.
name, Don,
I think
of
that's
course.
a great Christmas setting.
Hell
Oh
yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
The
is.
Christmas is a backdrop. Yeah.
Shell Pfeiffer, dude.
Quickly, Christmas games too.
Shenmue.
Great Christmas game.
You gotta wait. You can't beat it too quickly.
Yeah, you gotta take
You gotta
your time.
wait. You gotta drag your feet to let
Yeah.
Christmas come around.
Don't worry, Shenmue wants you to drag your feet.
Yeah, because then it's like snowing and shit. There's like decorations
Yeah.
everywhere. Little Santas like walking down the streets. Insane.
Yeah.
So
20-plus-year-old video game.
20 plus.
Insane.
So jolly. One of my, you know what I
Ridiculous.
jumped on as a Christmas? I was like, I'm in a Christmas vibes right now. I got to pull something out of the library to play this. And I couldn't think of anything. And you know what I fired up for the Christmas vibes? Rise of the Tomb Raider.
Oh,
Because that game has like
snow.
Okay.
non-stop, really, really good snow effects
Yeah.
through like basically the entire thing. So yeah, just the snow alone.
Don, I gotta
like
go-
the holiday setting.
I gotta go
winter
back to
feelings.
that trilogy, man. I 100%ed all three of those games, and it was diminishing returns for me. I liked one more than two. I liked two more than three.
I am so
gotta
high
go
on part two.
back.
Remember, Rise of Tomb Raider,
know.
I think is so good. And like
I
the
just-
third one, I could never finish. I tried about
Yeah.
3 times and I kept falling
That's so
off.
funny.
I even played the like complete edition of 3 with like 10 extra DLC tombs. Did all of them.
I love the
Oh,
teams.
wow.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm so in the minority on that game. I like that
Yeah.
game more than everyone else. But I hated 2. I remember hating
I
2.
love the first. The
crazy,
first
'cause
one is
I'm, like,
sick.
I mean, of
obsessed with
course the
2.
first one's cool.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Second one though.
I love the second one. How
I gotta go back. Maybe I gotta go back. Isn't there like a survival mode on it? Like crank up
Maybe.
the difficulty,
Maybe.
something.
Dawn, do you know what
Huh.
I played last night in my bed with my tree lit?
Tell me.
I played The Magical Quest starring Mickey Mouse
Hell yeah.
Hell
in
yes.
one sitting.
Oh,
Played on my
that's the
analog
vibes.
pocket, dude. It was a delight.
Pocket.
That is cozy vibes.
It was like took me like an hour and a half to beat. It was so cozy, dude.
Damn.
Yeah, felt so good.
I
Felt
love
like a
that.
kid again.
big time.
All right. Since this is the last episode of Frame Trap, I asked a bunch of the listeners to send in some of their favorite Frame Trap memories.
Jolly.
This first one is from
That's you.
Faraz. What?
That's
oh, that's you.
you.
Yeah, that's you. All you listening, that's you. 2 moments I'll never forget. The first episode where Hot Take became Hotake. It's just one of those moments where a classic segment was created. Yeah. I remember shooting that at
Hotake.
Ben and I think Damiani's apartment at the
Scared
time.
the shit out of me so many
Or
times.
your old apartment, Damiani, when Ben lived there.
Scared the absolute crap out of me.
Yeah, Hotakes are so extreme.
Good Lord.
Yeah, always startling everyone.
Jump scare.
Because you would like slam the desk.
Yeah.
Too. Yeah. Hotake! Yeah,
Yeah.
you would get fucking nuts. And the other one was Huber's revelation of diaper usage for cleaning DVDs. I still laugh every time I see that clip. The reactions of everyone else, classic Easy A moment. That was a classic moment. Because I think we were all just confused by what you meant as a
Yeah.
diaper.
Like I remember you thought it was like the Huggies.
Yeah, like an actual baby diaper.
Yeah. But it's like an actual
It's like a
diaper.
cloth.
It's like a cloth diaper.
Yeah.
So like a reusable, ones you could like wash. But I mean, they're top tier cleaning materials, dude. That's a mom life hack there.
Yeah.
That's a mom tip.
That's a mom tip.
Straight from the mother.
Never forget Huber screaming, "You don't wear the diaper." So funny.
This is from Kristen G. Rosario. There are so many amazing moments that I will just go with 2 of them. One of them will always be getting Maximilian Dude on. Seeing some of my favorite content creators get together and talk video games was absolutely amazing. I was not on that episode. I don't know if any of us were, but I think they were talking about Mortal Kombat on that episode, I want to say.
Sick.
Either X or 11. One of those 2. And the other has to be beginning of Frame Trap E3 specials involving the power of ramen. That is a good moment.
Iconic.
The noodles and broth segments were always insane.
E3 frame traps.
Dude, so tired every time.
Unhinged energy.
Yeah, so unhinged, so tired.
Next level.
Sugoi.
Sugoi.
He would always say that. Drink the broth. Sugoi. Kristen also said, very nice. I will miss you so much, Brad. You folks' dedication to your craft will most certainly never be forgotten. Thank you, Kristen. P.S. You'll be happy to know that I also started watching One Piece back in late September, and as of writing, have surpassed 1,000 episodes.
How is that possible?
I don't know how that's possible.
Do you just like put it on in the background?
I don't know.
Because that's the thing too. Everyone's like, just watch it.
I guess if you do the dub,
yeah,
you could
like
do that,
how?
But I'm not doing the dub.
When I watch shit, I sit there and I'm not on my phone and I'm
Yeah,
watching
you're focused.
straight ahead focused. How would you do 1,000
how'd you
episodes
do
that
1,000
fast?
episodes? I don't know. You let us know. Maybe
You watching on 1.75 speed
Dude,
there?
some people do that, man.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I never want to get to that point because I'll feel like, why am I even doing this if I get to that point?
Oh my god. Sorry, the remake's coming.
The remake's coming, yeah.
Getting in on
So
the
all you
ground
people
floor.
out there, Damiani, you better watch it.
Yeah.
I'm coming for everybody.
Yeah.
I'm
a
going to
lot-
nag everyone.
A
dude.
lot easier task.
Yeah, it's going to look nice, dude. It's the studio that did Attack on Titan
Hell yeah.
and Spy Family. So it'll be good.
Critically acclaimed.
Critically acclaimed. This is from Chris Orr. Not sure if this counts as
Wars.
a frame trap moment. But I was delighted to bump into Ben at my first ever TGS business day in 2016. I hope to do the same with you someday, Brad, in your new role as Global From Software PR Master. Please tell me I guessed your new job correctly. No, but that would be a sick-ass job.
That would be sick.
I don't speak Japanese, though, so it'd probably never happen. This is from Alexander Ziryanov. Some of my favorite moments. I love how Brad, without changing what this show is all about, quickly made it his own. And the best illustration of how he dealt with frame trap demons. Oh, yeah. So he sent a clip, and Blood asked me on the podcast about it or something. And I just said I sent them back to hell with like holy water or something.
Send them back
you
to
were
hell.
into it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Send them back to hell, dude.
Yeah, I was like, I sent them back. Because there used to be frame trap demons, but I cleansed those foul demons.
The like stake in the heart with dumping holy water. The
They're
combo.
not coming back, dude.
Yeah.
Maybe in 100 years when Dracula resurrects. And this is from Zach Wojnar. My least favorite frame trap memory is the time Ben Moore screamed, "Pull my devil trigger," doing a Noodles and Broth segment. I was on the train wearing headphones, and it was deeply upsetting due to the screeching volume. That one moment was bad. Everything else about frame trap, well, to quote an underrated Ringo Starr solo tune, the worst it ever was wonderful.
Sick.
Nice. Thanks for those memories, dude. We
Hell
had a
yeah.
great time with frame trap. It's been a long time, almost 8 years, dude. Good
Damn.
lord.
That is a hell of a run.
Yeah, hell of a run.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Do you guys have any favorite frame trap memories? It's all blurring together for me now.
E3 for sure.
E3s are always great. Yeah,
Goat.
broths.
E3 always the goat.
Always.
The energy
Yeah.
is next level.
Having Ben Starr on last episode is really nice. Getting him in person.
That's sick.
I really appreciated that.
Hell yeah.
What about you, Damian? You got anything off the top of your head?
I mean, yeah, the E3 one's always special because I mean everything you said, how like Ben went all out to complete like the crafting the ramen theme,
Yeah.
like all the different ingredients and stuff. Like he really like committed to that bit. So
he sure
I
did.
thought I like for me I was a little like that was like goofy, but like clearly like it worked and you had a good time doing it. So
Mhm.
and people clearly looked forward to it. So it was something that was pretty unique. And I think that was the thing is that having another podcast when we first announced Frame Trap, like having a second podcast alongside the main podcast, obviously like talking about games but like, what else would it be that would set it apart? And I think,
Yeah.
It did a lot to set itself apart. They were two distinct things. So, and yeah, you continued that during the transition. So, I feel bad I never got to be on the one with like Max, although like I'm pretty sure I was the one who helped get Max on that episode of Talk Mortal Kombat.
Definitely
I think I helped. And I wasn't on it, but I'm pretty sure I got him hooked up with Ash Paulson as well on an episode where they were talking about, I think, some like retro game stuff.
I think I was on that one.
Were you on it with him? Yeah,
I think so. Just so you know, every time Max has like been on anything of ours, pretty much, it's been because mostly of Damiani holding it down. Damiani's got
because my former roommate was like one of his good friends, and then like I've been friends with Max. Like I met him like 2008, 7, 6, 2000, sometime between 2005 and 2007 was the first time I met him. And then I hung out with him through a mutual group of friends, and like I remember being at his like an old apartment when he first started shooting that series Assist Me. Like I thought they were like insane. I was like, this is cool. Like we're all like, dude, this would be sick and stuff. But like I don't think anyone had any idea it was gonna get as big as it was. And it was like, holy crap, like that is insane. And then like to see him be a part of, like even more recently, like getting to like be on stage at the launch event for 16, like showing off like the combat. Yeah, that was like with the combat director was pretty sick. Yeah,
that was sick. Dawn, you were always kind of in the shadows of Frame Trap. I don't know if you've ever been on the panel. If you have, it's been like once. But my favorite memory, Dawn, is a recent one, and it was you passionately defending City Skylines 2.
Hell yeah.
It was so sick, Dawn. I loved it.
Nice.
You got me hyped up, dude.
You still playing?
City Skylines, I have firmly in my back pocket, Huber, because Avatar has taken over my life. I'm living as a Na'vi. That's the truth. Yeah.
The home tree, dude, is sick.
I'm obsessed with this game.
Nice. I'm glad you guys are enjoying it.
I'm really enjoying it a lot, Brad.
Have you played more of it recently? I know you've been busy.
A little more.
Cool. That's awesome. I'm glad you guys like it a lot.
Just want to connect to the characters more, Don.
Yeah, I feel that. I mean,
that's all. Sick game though.
I think it's gotten better. Like it comes in hard, like heavy-handed with the characters, but then once you're in the game, it's like not as
maybe you can just tune it out more,
irritating. Yeah, maybe easier to deal with. I don't know.
Cool.
You rocking the bow or the bow mostly?
Oh yes.
Yeah, the bow.
I've got a couple of. I have a shotgun. I have a few guns now. I've but I almost always use the bow. It's too much fun. Too satisfying.
Yeah, stealth kills. And absolutely.
Now that I'm airborne, holy smokes.
Can you get a mech?
I don't know.
That'd be sick.
So.
I don't know.
Because it's usually just human size, right? Yeah. But that'd be cool.
Too big for that thing.
Now they need to do a DLC where you play as the humans fighting the Na'vi.
Just shooting Na'vi down, dude. That'd be so intense.
Yeah.
That'd be sick.
James Cameron, dude, raw.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know where this game goes but I wouldn't be surprised if at some point in this game that who knows, they might have you play as a human. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised because they've done a couple of things already that were kind of like, oh, I didn't expect this kind of thing.
It's like no Russian. It's just called no Na'vi or something, dude. It'd be so insane.
Just
dark
headlines, dude.
That would be nuts.
Headlines.
Yeah. Some World of Warcraft dude like burning the tree.
Dark.
Dude, fuck that tree. Burn that shit.
Yeah.
I clapped. You can burn it. I don't care.
Yep.
Take that, Night Elves.
Yeah, Night Elf scum.
Yeah, I don't care if your tree burns.
Seriously. Coming for
just grow a new one, you babies.
Yeah. What's their capital?
Teldrassil?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Coming for that next.
I think that got... Oh, I don't know if it got burned, actually. I don't know. I haven't played Alliance on modern side in so long. Damiani is AFK, I believe. He's just gone.
He's out. He'll be back. Hopefully he'll be
He's
back.
out enough, dude.
Yeah.
We were talking about Avatar and he bounced.
Yeah, he's tired of it.
Is he still in our chat, Don?
So tired of it.
No, he got disconnected completely. So we'll see.
Okay, well, we're just gonna.
He's probably having some internet trouble.
We're gonna do the classic, fill that dead air right now and wait for Damiani to come back.
Yeah,
Don,
tell me. Talk about Avatar.
Yeah, talk to me more about Avatar, dude. What's been going on? You said you got your flying mount finally.
Yeah, well, first, let me tell you a little bit about, I think, what's so special about this game for me, I think, is like, look, the Avatar films, they created this, like, beautiful world, and there's this epic, they're set against this epic backstory, this huge story that's so grand that was actually kind of one of my criticisms of especially the second one, was like, we almost don't get a glimpse of any of that at all, you know, of like that background, the war, the invasion of Pandora.
Dude, that's more to come on that.
Colonization, all that
I already
stuff.
know a spoiler for Avatar 4 and 5, Don.
What?
Yeah, James Cameron already said.
He spoiled
Well, listen,
something?
though, Huber, I may have to wait another decade or two before 4 comes out. So in the meantime, we've got this Frontiers game, and what it does is, like, if the two movies are just like these kind of isolated pillars where, like, they have they focus on the characters and they're just like this very limited section of the story you can experience, the game provides like this connective tent connected to them and all around it. So all that background, all that world is suddenly accessible to the
Just like
viewer,
AWA,
to the
dude.
player.
It's all connected, bro.
And so it's like deeply satisfying, and it gets you entrenched in the lore. It gets you like completely entrenched in the world in such a deeper level than I had been by just seeing the movies, you know?
Yeah.
And so that's one of the things that I'm really loving about it, is being able to now access that huge, like, creative portion of the story that is just you kind of had to imagine before. You had to imagine, what are all these Na'vi clans that are doing? You know, what is that? Even what is this society, this lifestyle of like living on Pandora?
Mm-hmm.
What is that actually like? Because you do get glimpses of it, especially in the first and this and that. It's like scenes, but this is expanded to the point that's like you can live it. You can actually live it. You can be up on these cliff tops. You can be like, okay, so I got to call out, though, the Explorer mode. This is a must, I would say. Like, number one thing of, like, play this game in Explorer mode and just don't even have the goal of beating the game. Don't even think about beating the game. Say, I'm just going in here to enjoy being in Pandora and to live in as a Na'vi and help them now fight against this evil that's taking over the planet, right? And so, like, I don't know. The Explorer mode has been a huge thing. It was a curve to deal with. It was a frustration curve, I would call it. Not a learning curve, but a frustration curve that I had to get past of, like...
You just got to be a little more patient with it, for sure.
Yes, you have to be 100% patient. You can't be, like, singularly focused on missions. And you have to be willing to diverge and be, like, distracted and go off in other paths when sometimes you just can't quite figure out the way to do something. But then the satisfaction that ends up coming, like... just grows and grows. You get to this confident place where you just you trust and know, okay, I am going to figure out where that is. I am going to figure out how to do this, all that stuff. And once you start believing that, it just engrosses, you know, it immerses you that much deeper, I find.
Yeah.
At least that's what it's done for me so far. So I feel like they've done a really nice job with the Explorer mode.
Hell yeah.
You know, less icons and leaders and everything.
Don, this game is seriously a gift.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
It is.
Like, to get a AAA high budget quality tie-in to a universe that we love so much is like a rare thing nowadays. Absolutely. It just doesn't happen like it used to. Like the early 2000s, it was like there were so many movie tie-ins, whether it was like direct adaptations or like weird little spin-offs, and that went away. So I love that.
There was an Avatar game on 360, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
James Cameron's Avatar the game.
And I guess that's why this is one of the reasons.
That one's filler, though. Confirmed filler. This is confirmed canon.
Oh, and I love the canon of it. And they make so clear like where this is, like in time to be juxtaposed against the movie. And it's such a satisfying place because everything you like, they just reference in, especially the second one, you're like, okay, but now I'm there. Now this is that. Now this is this area. It's not just something, you know, off in the background detail. But it's exceeded my expectations for that reason. Huber's like, I thought it was going to be, once I saw the first trailer for it, I was like, it's going to be a somewhat segmented Pandora. You know, it's not going to be like a true open world. Like, this is going to be like, you're going to have almost linear kind of sections you're going to be forced to kind of be involved in. And it's just so far from that in every way. I've been like...
The world's crazy.
Very pleasantly surprised with it. Enjoying it so much. And it's like, I don't know. You've got to like the stakes are great. I think the stakes are really high because once you're living in this mindset, once you are like, okay, I'm Navi, I'm here, I'm like, I'm living in nature, I'm living.
I'm so glad you
I'm
said
living
that.
a totally different reality than I'm able to live in my real life. First of all, which is what's one of the most appealing things about Pandora and the Avatar films. But then to actually be able to interact in your way there. So satisfying, but then the stakes, then you see the damage being done. You see,
I think that's the biggest thing with the movies, dude, is the biggest shock. Like, whatever, you can like Avatar or not. I get surprised when people don't, but also I get surprised because the stakes in those movies are so freaking high for a bit like hundreds of millions of dollar blockbuster. Like, blockbuster movies are the safest fucking movies possible. You know exactly what you're gonna get. So cookie cutter safe. Avatar is high stakes. There's real danger and like real cost to people's actions in those movies.
Yes, and just emotionally too. It's like it gets you in your heart. You feel it. You feel like personally committed to stuff when you know what I'm saying? So it's like so fun to play out that kind of. Not only that, it's like vibes, okay? The game gets so many of Cameron, the master at sci-fi vibes. Huber, I'm talking about aliens. I'm talking about when they're landing on the planet, the rain, the industrial complex that
he doesn't miss.
It's just like those certain scenes he pulls off. It's some of the greatest moments in sci-fi. And Avatar: The Frontiers is continually creating these kind of moments where you're like, I'm now playing in this just like perfectly vibed James Cameron style sci-fi moment. You know, whether you're like,
thanks, Jim.
You're wandering around, you know, looking for maybe some like super rare ingredients, which. You're truly having to use your knowledge and your perception to find. You're not just looking for waypoints or like something like that. And they're making it difficult to find. It's not just like go.
And
right
I like
there
how some of those plants like fight back, dude. Those freaking electric ones.
Oh yeah, the floor
and like the gas exploders. You're like, dude, I'm just looking for
those like
crafting materials
bouncy,
here.
I forget what they're called. The mushroom things that bounce you like way into the air. So sick.
How you guys are talking about this world?
It's sick.
You're like talking about like explorer mode and shit. Like you're talking about it like how I play like Tears of the Kingdom or some shit.
Well,
like,
that's
I'm turning off the hub, and how you guys are talking about exploring this fucking world. Like, how good is this world actually?
Well, let me tell you,
it's well crafted.
This is what it made.
It's on Tears of the Kingdom, but it's well crafted.
Well, hold on, Huber. I would beg to differ on that. I would not. I'm not even joking.
Okay.
I beg to differ that I could go up against Tears of the Kingdom in terms of world versus world. This is the greatest open world I've ever. Yeah, like okay, I'm not. I've been in since, you know, then this is personal, since Black Flag, I'm going to say. Because, like, Black Flag was probably my favorite open world in the past few years. Oh, good. Damiani's almost back, everybody. Just hang tough. You're almost there. I think Damiani's back. Let's see if we can hear him. Hold on. But, yeah, so I'm enjoying it. Look, the world of Black Flag, so unbelievably enjoyable to explore. But then it's like, with Explorer mode, you get rid of all those icons, all those waypoints, everything. Yeah. So you truly are there then, and you don't have to worry about, like, you know, that interference. And so it's like, Brad, the Explorer mode, it just puts you in it to like a level you absolutely love and you believe in. You can just
Brad, you would love the movement. Like, it feels so good to be a Navi in this game. It's crazy.
That was the other thing. It begins and you say, this is awkward, right? It feels awkward at first. It's like the movie experience of when the human gets transferred into the avatar body. You're like, this is really, you know, I'm kind of clumsy, fumbling around this and that. Now the grace and elegance from how you fly through the jungle, like sliding and jumping and leaping and swinging. It's like, it is beautiful.
Nice.
Yeah. Stunning game. All right, let's see if we can get Damiani back online.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes. Listeners, Damiani's power went out for a bit, so.
I went to turn on a fan, and there's a loud pop, and like everything turned off.
Sounds like my PS5.
Yeah, probably.
Wait, does your PS5 do that?
When I was streaming God of War, it did like 5 times.
I heard about that from chat on Saturday, saying your PS5 is causing some problems. I just flipped the circuit breaker and it came back on. But I tested again and it shut everything off again. But then thankfully the leasing office was still open. Maintenance guy just came right over and looked at it and was like, yeah, you're probably just drawing too much power. So you can flip it as many times as you want, but maybe just leave a thing or two off. So I just decided to like turn off some lights and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're good. I
shooting
just gotta
at the
know not to turn like on.
lights.
Well, I try and turn on every light to light up the room nicely, but I guess all that plus you're not seeing everything that's like hooked up because like I got my 2 monitors in front of me. My my computer's plugged in. I have 2 monitors plugged in. Computer, the 2 Elgato key lights. The speakers are plugged in. I have a laptop plugged in from my other work. I have HD TV above all of this, 65-inch HD TV above me plugged in. It's like, yeah, PS5
Damn.
plugged in, a Switch plugged in. It's like,
Jeez,
oh yeah,
gamer.
this is probably why.
Sportsbook over here.
Yeah, probably, dude. My thing, like, yeah, I could be like I could do like one of those like sports bookie like stations here, or I could be like, it looks like I'm at like a TD at a studio or something.
Yeah.
Like, it looks like I work in the Matrix.
Yeah, that's fine. Huber and Don just talked about Avatar for a little bit. Very passionate.
Okay.
From these two.
Oh, the new one.
Avatar.
Yeah.
I am thrilled to see how it looks finally when I finally get my hands on with it, because I keep seeing people rave about its like how it looks visually.
Perfect thing to hold us over until part 3. Right, Don?
Oh yes, Huber. Seriously, when you said
perfect-
earlier a gift, it's literally
Yeah.
a gift from the gods.
It
to
is a
hold us
gift.
over to not just that, but my hype. I mean, I'll admit, like I loved part 2, but I was like, okay, whatever. 3 is gonna come out whenever it comes out. It's like I'm obsessed again.
Hell
I'm
yeah.
obsessed.
Good.
I'm
Wow,
beyond
that's fun.
obsessed.
Good, Don.
That's exciting.
Fuck yeah.
Beyond pumped.
Okay, Huber. God of War Ragnarok had DLC Valhalla that came out of nowhere. Free, also.
Insane that this is free, dude.
Why don't you talk to us about it? What is this exactly?
So, okay.
It's all right, collect your thoughts. Think
Yeah,
about it.
yeah.
We got time.
If you love God of War, like the whole franchise, and you have not played this, I'm not going to spoil this, but you should just dip out. I'm telling you right now, you should dip the hell out of here. Because they undersold what this is.
That's what I keep hearing from people.
This is 100% for fans of the franchise, or just even the newer ones, just fans of God of War, but especially fans of the entire thing. And Don, we're talking about gifts. This is a legitimate gift. This is like, hey, we see you, we hear you, we love you, thank you. And that's what this is, because it is free. And it is a roguelite mode and an epilogue to God of War and Kratos. And everything in this has context. Like, this is one of the best roguelite modes I've ever played in my entire life. I love this genre. It is absolutely insane. So you start out, you got an invitation from someone to go to Valhalla. And there's a lot of story in this. A lot. It blew my mind how much story is in this thing. There's cutscenes, there's nonstop dialogue. I beat this thing and kept playing, and there was even more story happening. Like, it just does not stop with how much story is in this mode. It is ridiculous.
Huber, I played like maybe an hour of it. I played a little bit to see it, and there was a lot of story right off the bat. I was like, whoa, what's going on here? I thought this was just going to be like an arcade thing kind of thing. No, it's like full-blown sequel.
Full-blown, you have to play this if you like. You have to. It's a must. It is a must play. And it's free, so there's really nothing holding you back.
Time. That's
a little bit of time. It took me a while. Obviously, I had a lot of technical difficulties originally.
Yeah, you're streaming it. Yeah.
My PS5 crashed numerous times, and like I'd lose progress because it only saves when you finish a run,
right,
and you get back to the shore. But I got to take the Spider-Man PS5 that we had.
Yep.
And then I started streaming on that. I did have a crash on that as well.
Okay.
Not a hard like power off crash.
Just the game crash?
Like the game crash.
Okay.
So people on Reddit have also been saying the same thing and here and there. So they're going to patch
aware,
it.
yeah.
But some technical difficulties initially.
Okay.
So the context of it is incredible because, you know, when you die, you come back to the shore of Valhalla and come back in. Like everything contextually makes
Yeah, it makes sense.
sense.
Do you think they played Hades and were like, hey,
Probably. Like,
let's do something like that?
yeah, like
Because it reminds me of it just with like the story.
The story,
when you come
yes.
back, there's like story, how they present it.
100%. It's seriously one of the best roguelite modes I've ever played because you have your meta progression, which I love. So that comes in numerous forms. That comes in mastery seals and spirit seals are the two main currencies.
Okay.
With mastery seals, you can upgrade your health permanently, your rage permanently.
Oh, okay.
And then your stats as well. Strength, defense, runic, cooldown, luck, all that you can
Permanent
pump
stats?
up
Okay.
permanently.
Cool.
Spirit seals are really cool because then you get permanent buffs. It'll be like, hey, you have a better chance of seeing more options on a run when you get like a runic.
Yeah, that's
or
cool.
or you have a high chance of like when you get a runic now, it'll be like level 2 instead of 1.
Mm-hmm.
Or now when you defeat enemies, you'll get more fleeting echoes, which is the disposable currency.
That's the one you use on runs.
You can use those on runs. The main thing that really hamstrings you are divine triumphs, because sometimes you'll get to an upgrade. You know, you'll be upgrading your strength, of course, and it'll be like, level 5 strength. You'll need mastery points, but you'll also need those divine triumphs, and those are pretty hard to come by. You know, you'll need to do like pretty legit, beat a boss.
Yeah,
or
okay.
like whatever. Not gonna say what, but the fucking boss fights, dude. I'm so hyped for you. I was like, Brad's gonna fucking love these boss fights. Holy shit. So each run, you have like you can have like some challenges you can do to try to get more rewards. But basically a run, you'll go in, you have all your weapons, you got your Leviathan axe, your Blades of Chaos, and your Dropnir spear. And depending on what you choose first, that first upgrade, that'll be kind of the path you take.
You mean when you open like a chest?
Yeah,
on
the
run?
very first
Okay.
chest, you
Yeah.
can choose what you upgrade, either the blades, the spear, or the axe. It'll be a different thing every time. So like maybe the blade upgrade is really, really good this time.
Yeah.
It'll be that path, and some of the rooms will be different depending on that.
I didn't know that.
And then that'll also give you a chance to, after you beat like the first mini boss, the next room basically will let you upgrade your weapon of choice for that run,
Okay.
like significantly upgrade it, with echoes. So yeah, it's just extremely well balanced and thought out. They encourage you to change difficulties every time. So we were bouncing between the top two, mastery and prowess. Depending on the difficulty as well you choose, you get more rewards.
Yeah, I love stuff like that.
Yeah, you can also choose before you go in what shield you use and what rage mode you use.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
There's different challenges associated with that. Sometimes it'll be like, hey, if you use this one this run, you'll get more points. If you use this, so it's encouraging you to
okay.
use everything.
Got it.
There's, like I said, there's like challenges for each run, but then there's also challenges for the whole thing. I was always going for those like hardcore mastery
Yeah.
challenges. There's tons of unlocks, like tons of skins you can get.
I did see some.
There's like these keys you can get that'll open up permanently.
Is that like the sand door thing?
Yep.
Looking? Okay.
Yep. There's just
Yeah, I've seen some stuff.
Yes.
I won't say what it is, but
Yeah.
it's very cool.
the end of the trailer. Again, I'm trying to dance around here. The end of the trailer showed
I don't know.
a Cyclops.
Oh, right. Yeah, they showed that,
They showed a Cyclops.
which is cool. We've been wanting
Yes.
something like that.
Yes.
Just some like Greek.
from 2018 and Ragnarok, I was like, yo, please just let me fight some like OG shit. And it's like, yo, the fucking Cyclops and stuff.
Yeah, they
Like,
had the song.
yes. The music is incredible. Like, I encourage every single person to play this.
Yeah.
Seriously, all of you, everyone listening
How
now.
long do you think it took you? I know
I had the hard crashes.
and you're playing on harder difficulties.
Playing on hard, I would die a lot.
Yeah.
Like, it was tough,
Yeah,
dude.
for
Some
sure.
of those fights got tough. So it took me like probably, I'm going to guess like 15 hours.
That's really
I
good.
think if you play on normal, you could probably
10,
just beat it.
12?
You wouldn't even die. Probably like 10 max. Yeah.
That's still really good. That's a
Yeah.
good length for free, especially.
Free.
That's so unusual to me that they made this free.
It
I'm
is-
really surprised.
It is unbelievable that it's free. And I swear to God, Brad, I put this DLC now in the same category as the best of them, as like Blood and
Hades,
Wine.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Expansion things.
Yeah, like DLC. This is one of my favorite DLCs. This is 2023 is insane.
Yeah.
I know there's some recency bias here, but it's God of War.
Yeah.
But I still think a year from now, I'm going to be looking back at this as one of my all-time favorite DLCs. And like, we all know the combat in Ragnarok and God of War is incredible. And I think this roguelite mode really exemplifies that. It makes it even better. Like, these encounters are so sick. Just like the way you can upgrade your weapons on each run. Like, the combat sings in this mode.
How long did it take you to kind of adjust to the gameplay again?
Just a couple.
Like, I was playing and I was like, I'm like very
Yeah.
comfortable with the axe now again, but I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, now I got to remember the Blades of Chaos
Yeah.
kind of thing like that.
For sure. Just
I
a
don't
couple.
think it's a big deal.
I
but-
took a few minutes. I was like, chat, give me a minute here.
Yeah,
and then I
just
like
kinda
looked
messing
at
around.
all the skills. I'm like, chat, there's going to be dead air for a few minutes.
Yeah.
Let me just look at all the skills to like remember.
forgot you could absorb like an element with the speed
The
and stuff
spe-
like that.
exactly.
But I think it's fine.
Yeah. I will say I had some From Software vibes on the negative. Because the only thing I ever, and I've talked to you
Yeah.
so many times about this, the only times I ever in my life criticize Soulsborne games is committing to a weapon. It's like you use so many resources
On that weapon.
to commit to a weapon. It's like, why am I gonna use something else then that is so much lower level that I have committed here?
Sure.
So it's like, I just felt so
Trapped in
like, no, because it's like, there's not that. You're not like fully upgrading a weapon meta style, but it's like when you choose a path
on a run.
on a run,
Okay.
then you get that upgrade after the mini boss that makes the weapon itself stronger.
I see.
Then it's like, okay, well, this is the thing I am using now.
I see.
Like sometimes, obviously you'll use your blades for some AoE stuff, but then it was like, all right, if I'm using the axe here,
You know what would have been cool
it's
is...
that's just me. I know, like, you can
Yeah.
use them all, but it still
So,
feels like one is stronger
I have
than
a
the
question then. So once you get one of these upgrades for your weapon, can you pick which weapon, or is it just whatever weapon you were using?
rest. No, so when you open that first chest, it's like you are on the path of this. And then after you beat a mini boss,
I see.
you will go, the next place will be dependent on which weapon you chose.
Okay.
And then the thing that you can buy things from will sell an upgrade for that
I wish it was like
weapon.
you could you get the item or whatever for
Yeah.
upgrade, and you could pick which one you want.
Yeah.
So it's like, because I don't know if you could like refight some of these things to get upgrades or whatever, but it's like, well, my axe is good, but I do want to build up my thing on the side. But
Yeah,
I'm using the axe that's strong, but I still want to build that up kind
Yeah,
of thing. If they
yeah.
let you choose, but like whatever,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah. And it's like, and you only have a finite amount of like things you can upgrade too. So it's like you're getting weapon skills, you're getting runic skills. So it's like, okay,
Yeah.
if I'm on the path to upgrade the axe, like obviously all the skills I'm going to take too are for the axe. So you really kind of leave your other weapons in the dust. But again, minor nitpick. And
Yeah.
it's like, that's just part of the roguelite element. It's like, hey, this is the weapon I'm going to use,
Yeah, yeah,
Whereas
I
in
get
the
it.
main game, obviously, you're bouncing around
yeah,
between
yeah,
all
yeah.
three, like,
I got it.
For
sure.
So the minor,
Yeah, man.
literally only.
This sounds
also
Oh, yeah.
one huge complaint.
Oh,
It's actually unacceptable.
okay.
It's unacceptable.
Okay.
When you kill a Cyclops,
Oh, yeah.
you don't rip its eye out.
Yeah.
And that is
That
unacceptable.
would have been a sick shout out for
It's unacceptable
fans.
behavior, Santa Monica. We wanted that. We wanted that.
There you go.
I wonder how much that would cost to do that. I wonder.
Because it's the same killing animation as the ogres.
Yeah.
The exact same thing. So I was like, yo,
Yeah.
give me that eye rip. But it's so ridiculous that I'm even here saying that because they just gave us a feast.
Yeah.
An absolute feast of a DLC for free. So I say it jokingly, seriously. Like it would have set things over the edge.
They
It's
gave
fine.
you like a fucking delicious large pizza
Yeah.
and a Coke, but you're like, but where's my Dr. Pepper?
Yeah.
It's just like fucking
Yeah. Where are my wings on the side?
Yeah.
Like, yo, what's the deal? Yeah. So ridiculous that we're even asking for that. But I was not alone in that. Other people also were like, yo, where's
it's
that
a
eye rip?
classic thing.
Yeah. Iconic eye rip.
It's an iconic finisher for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it sounds really sick from what I played. I definitely got some narrative teases. I was like, oh, I'm very surprised about this.
Yes.
Kind of thing. I'm like, cool, this is cool. I like where this is going kind of
Yes.
thing. It's really sick. Damian, I forgot. Did you finish Valhalla? Or you played some of it at least, right?
I played a little bit of it, but I didn't finish
Okay, you
it.
didn't finish
But
it.
I read
Would
that.
this-
I saw the DLC. But from my understanding, you can jump into this DLC
You can.
before the end of the
Right in.
game.
Yeah.
But they warn you that you
it's meant to
might-
be played
yeah,
after.
Yeah.
It's
Like they do.
So
They'll spoil a couple things of the main game for sure.
Okay.
I still think that's kind of cool for people who are like maybe like someone like me who's like, okay, I am hearing about this. I want to jump in right now, and like I maybe you could there are people who can definitely enjoy a game story even with like spoilers. They're like, no, I need to see how it's like told. I don't care that I know what's
Yeah.
going to happen. Like it's still a great experience to go through it. So I could definitely see people like they were just catering to people who want to jump right in because you don't release it how they did. If you didn't want, you got to make it easy for people to jump in. It couldn't have been like, what is it, Horizon's DLC, where it's like
Yeah.
you need to be at the end of the game to like actually access it, or like another piece of DLC we'll be talking about, where it's like if you already had a save file at the end, it was very easy access, but
I did
it
not.
was a little bit more difficult if you didn't.
I did not. So
I just think this thing is incredibly balanced difficulty wise. Like choose your difficulty that you find comfortable. You can find they really encourage you. They're like, please, like this mode it is designed for you to change the difficulty
Dude.
anytime, and it's so well balanced, and also just all the upgrades on an individual run and all the permanent upgrades, like to counter my complaint about you being incentivized to use like the weapon that run.
Right.
At least they encourage you to use all the weapons because also depending on the path you take, that will make these things called crests available for that weapon. So it'll be like the Leviathan crests, the Chaos crests. Those crests are super important because you can use those to buy like resurrection stones. And if you have one of each, you can turn those in to get divine triumphs, that really rare currency. So it really incentivizes you to use everything, all the tools from the combat system, like everything. It's just so well thought out and everything is contextualized. Like it is a masterpiece of a DLC.
excellent.
A true masterpiece.
I wonder if Eternal kind of got people inspired at Sony. I don't
Yeah,
know,
'cause
because
you
Naughty
got-
Dog's doing it too.
For sure. And the runs can be like, 10, 15 minutes. Like, so they can be a little longer, but like you get in a point where you're just like sprinting through encounters and stuff, cracking
dudes
chests
up.
open.
Yeah.
Like they can go quick.
Cool.
It's so easy to play. You can suspend a run anytime. Like suspend it here, I'll be back. It's like, yeah. It's not just it's pretty long, but it's so easily accessible and easy to jump into to do a run or two at a time. Like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I want to play right now.
So good.
Yeah.
All right, Damiani. Final Fantasy 16 also had DLC come out of nowhere. Echoes of the Fallen, I believe it's called. Why don't you tell us about it? I actually played through this also.
Nice. So you did get a chance to play through
Yeah.
it. It does feel bad, but we're about to talk about coming off of like Huber describing the Valhalla DLC being free when this
Free
costs
and perfect.
$9.99. And I would right off the bat, I'll say it does not have as nearly as much content as Valhalla, but it's going for something a little bit different. I would say this will take you probably around 3.5 to 4 hours on the long side. It's very it's a story driven. It's very interesting how they handled this. So if you're curious about what do they do? Is it like post game? Is it prequel? It actually runs alongside concurrently near the end of the game, which is kind of interesting. And actually, when I started
I don't like when games do that, Damiani. I don't like when games do that because I feel almost penalized for beating the game. It's like, yo, is this gonna with a complete edition? Fitting this into just your main playthrough would have been so much better.
Well, you can't really do DLC after the game.
Yeah, I know that, but it's like.
It would,
we were thinking of prequel stuff.
Yeah, maybe. Prequel shit was Sid or something.
Yeah, I understand.
I never like when it's jammed in there.
So I will say, it introduces a lot of potential logical problem. Not that way, but for some people they'll be wondering why, from a release standpoint, literally what you just said, Huber. If I waited to play this sometime late in 2024, when the PC version comes out, if it has all this included, this will be something that pops up. I mean, you have to pay for it unless the PC version comes with everything installed already. Yeah. If you have all the content unlocked, this will be part of a quest that pops up that you could do versus someone like Brad and me who played through it. This was not available, and it introduces new story elements, pretty significant story elements.
Yeah, I want to play 100%.
Yeah. And so I thought they're going to use the coward's way out, where it's going to be amnesia at the end. You're going to forget these events, and they're going to drop you right back before the end of the game, and it's oh, you're not going to remember this stuff. Because I was like, how is all this happening? And they don't what? I'm interesting. Because as the name implies, Echoes of the Fallen, this DLC is all about the Fallen, a race of humans who got very technologically advanced, and then something happened because you see the ruins of their civilization scattered throughout the world as you go on your adventure as Clive and friends. So this DLC is let's not do that. This is what this DLC is. It's basically a very extended side quest, one of the meatier ones you encounter in the game that focus on a specific character. Only this one is about the Fallen. You have Jill, you have Joshua with you, you have Torgal, so it's the four of you.
Full
so you have your full party.
Loaded up.
You have the quartet rolling out. And it's basically a really boring opening part of the quest. I wasn't really digging the back and forth running around at the beginning. It felt like one of those MMO style go here, go there. And they were trying to be funny. And even for me, I was this is low. This would be low tier side quest writing in 14. I'm this is what is I was a little worried. And then when you get to you go to this place called the Sage Spire, which is the majority of this DLC is a giant dungeon, which is pretty cool.
Dope.
It's a giant dungeon, and it has mini bosses and a final boss fight, and all of it is just cranked up to 11. The final boss fight of this DLC is way more. Is way mechanically, it was way more insane than anything in the base game.
It was an awesome boss fight, dude. The music, dude. I was immediately thinking of you, Damiani. I was oh, Damiani is freaking out about this music. I won't say why.
They finally did that. Yeah, they finally did a thing. They're teasing. They have these leitmotifs going on throughout the dungeon, and you're if you play 14, you're oh, that's that song. Well, I think it is. They're playing the notes,
recognized it.
They're not doing it. It's not advancing though.
Because it was our meme song, wasn't it? It was the Mighty Mighty
They even
Bostons.
troll you. You get to the final boss, and it's just the main game final boss music. It's dun 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 dun, with that epic song. But I'm oh man, I didn't get special music. And then you pull the rug from out in front of you, and it's oh, there's multiple phases. What are you thinking? Come on.
Yeah,
and when that
so many phases begins,
and that music kicks in, it's just yo, okay, faith rewarded here.
This fight or these fights felt like really Final Fantasy 14 to me because there was like a lot of floor marker shit on some of them. There's this one Huber, not the last boss, but there's a boss. He does this move called roulette, and it's like the floor is like marked with danger, and it spins around, 14. And you gotta like land on a safe spot. And I was like, oh, this is 14.
Yeah.
I was not in it, and it still hit me on that mechanic. Ooh. And I watched it back, and
Classic
I was like, Yoshi P.
Check those hit
You gotta
boxes.
get that hit. You gotta get that hit detection. I was like, isn't this like the 14 engine on steroids? Isn't my like hitbox just a tiny pixel? Haven't all the modders and hackers and shit found out that like 14 is just like a little pixel inside your little hitbox circle on the ground? And I'm like, what? Why? How did I get hit by that? I was like, that's not good. But nah, it was. I mean, you could clear. I was greedy. Like I was clearly greeting for DPS there. Like I ran into too soon. And I was like, oh shit! And it was like a one shot. I'm like, all right, you really did a one shot mechanic. Okay,
yeah,
you're really introducing people to the headache and frustration of some of the 14 fights. It was like fail one thing, dead. Like wow.
Yeah.
I was like, maybe I'll get a chance to recover. No, you are just dead. Go back to the start of the fight. But yeah, Brad is right. It throws a lot of things on the floor at you. Like it's so fast paced, and that's like the great thing. Like I think some of the best fights, not just like in this game, but like in 14, is when they're throwing out mechanics at you in rapid succession. Because sometimes like when it's because these bosses are they just become like a song and dance you just like memorize. They don't like have like necessarily RNG involved with them. It's like they all have their tells, you know what's coming, and then it's like, can you react fast enough when you see it? In this game versus 14, they give you like a little bit more time to be generous since it's an online game. And I'm glad they're like trusting the players to be like, we're gonna throw a lot more at you at once, and like have that fun of being like that sense of being overwhelmed. So there's the final boss has this mechanic where it just looks like the fucking Malice from Tears of the Kingdom, Breath of the Wild like area, whatever.
Yeah.
And it's just like all this glowing purple pink shit all over the thing. And then it's like emitting all this like shit like that too. Like it looks like chaotic. Flames of it just like everywhere. The floor is on fire with it. Like everything is like what the fuck is even I don't even know where to stand. What is this shit? And you're like, am I taking damage? And am I supposed to run? Like I love that shit. Like because it's like that you don't get that moment again. It's like that first moment, like as soon as you know it's up, it's like, oh, I just go stand there, or this is like deceit, like it's just like for effect. Like, but that first moment when you're like still processing it. Like they know that people love that about games. Like they love that about 14. Like the first time you do a raid fight, it's like after the first time you clear, it's like it's never gonna be the same. It will never be the same. Whereas like you go do something like in Sekiro or Souls, you might know the patterns, but those types of games, like because their aggressive nature, it's like more skill driven. I feel like it's like about your execution. Where there's definitely execution even in 16. But it's a little bit more relaxed, I feel. It's more about, can you do the mechanics right, stand in the right spot, and then as long as you're just evading the attacks correctly and standing in the right spot and dodging correctly, you will eventually win. Although they did something freaking crazy for the end of this fight. They threw in a DPS check race.
Love a DPS check.
Rage.
I was like, wait, what? And it's like literally in your face. And I'm like, oh, that was good. Nice little enrage
you guys gotta play
counter.
Valhalla, dude.
I will.
More. Damiani, dude, get in there.
Well, now I want like something like Valhalla in like 16,
Bosses.
man. Now I want like a roguelite in like 16 now. Like
that would be
a dungeon where you do
sick.
that. So like they said in an interview, Naoki Yoshida said that they would consider for the PC version, which indicates that the Leviathan DLC coming out later in spring of next year will not have Jill or Joshua or anyone else playable. It's still just be Torgal Clive. But he said maybe if things go well enough to reward the PC players, they might do a thing in the main game where Jill, Sid, Joshua might be playable.
Well,
I was like,
I think
whoa,
cool.
that's sick.
So is the next DLC
sick.
also going to be the same thing where it's just jammed in?
Yeah. Probably.
Well, probably I'm going to guess.
It's going to change things,
how they're doing this. Yeah,
it's going to change things narratively.
Now, Huber, the one thing this did not do in this DLC is you do not get new abilities. You do not get like a new icon. You don't get new icon ability. Whereas like the Leviathan one, I'm assuming you're going to get something.
You are absolutely going to get new abilities in the next one.
Yeah.
But there is they give you new weapons and gear. And the weapons are better than anything in the main game, either whether it's Final Fantasy mode or normal mode. And then the accessories are pretty like good. They're very useful. Some of them are new kind of like crutch accessories. Like one of them will flash for when you need to swing your sword to properly parry. So it's like a parry window timer, like flash, like Platinum Games style.
Yeah.
Like it's exactly like Platinum Games. I was like, oh, there we go. Like the name will flash or whatever. I was like, that's kind of cool for people who want to get that down, but also don't want it to be automated, because there's a lot of complaints about the assist accessories just automating everything for you and not like giving people like an in between. Yeah. But other ones are really useful. Like
I'm just so excited to just see that crew again, because those characters are like some of my favorites of the entire year. So like, even though I have some qualms about just kind of like jamming a DLC into the game, it'll still just be nice to hang out with them again. Like,
Funny you should say that. Wooly Ollie wrote in, where does Clive rank among your favorite Final Fantasy main protagonists after playing 16? For me, he's third after my Warrior of Light from 14 and Cloud, which is a good company to keep. Clive's like number 2, I think, for me. It's like Cloud then Clive that I can think of off the top of my head. Just Clive is so goddamn
he's amazing.
Great, awesome character with so much depth. Obviously, the voice performance by Ben is fantastic.
Unreal.
Yeah, he's definitely top.
Yeah.
What about you, Dom, man? Where are you ranking Clive?
Yeah, I like a lot of the main characters from the series.
Yeah.
But they always like they feel, and they always like a lot of them do have growth, but they also feel like they're kind of, I don't know, I guess just what I'm about to say also kind of applies to Clive. Like Clive is very like, gung ho, like, let's go, and it's time to like fight. But like you really don't like get that. You always get like the cool, calm character who's like too cool in a Square Enix game. They're like the badass. Like they'll have like the one-liner quip or something, but like they're not like so outwardly. The characters that are usually like outwardly like exuding like confidence and like talking shit are usually like ones that are like, it's more either comedic or it's like, haha, you're not as good. Like literally like Final Fantasy IV, like Edge, the ninja. He's like constantly running his mouth, shouting how good he is, and it's like he's a good character, but like he's not like hands, he's not the best, or anything. Like he's as good as the other ones. Like I like Tidus. I mean, I like his growth, but like Orin's another one, but like he doesn't really go gung ho ever in 10. Like he's just like the quiet reserve guy, and when it's time to fight, it's like, oh shit, this guy came to fight. And even like Sephiroth is just like, some lines to torment you, but like otherwise he's like his demeanor is very calm. Where like Clive is just like, let's go, like rage mode, like beast mode. It's like kind of fun to see that raw emotion in a hero, even though it's like kind of been done a lot in other media. I feel like for me in Final Fantasy, it hasn't been done as much to this level, which is kind of nice. I don't know. Like that's how I feel about it. So he's definitely up there.
It was, I think you're right. Like it's been done a lot, but like he just had some nuance. He had some tender moments.
Yeah, I'd say Clive has
of quiet moments,
of different emotions throughout the entire game.
Totally. I put him probably number 2 behind Jack Garland.
All right, fair enough.
That's right. We
put him above Jack.
But
Jack
Garland is to Final Fantasy. Yeah, Jack Garland in Stranger of Paradise is to Final Fantasy what Revengeance is to Metal Gear. It's not fair to compare those games. The series are just they're in a class of their own. Just don't even bother. Like you just can't do that. Like it's just unfair. They're not playing by the same set of rules whatsoever. But
I also got to finish Rebirth, before I really rank this, because Cloud in Part 1 was amazing, better than Cloud's ever been. Obviously it's way more depth nowadays in games, more just like realistic acting. And so Rebirth could elevate Cloud even more.
Sure.
Yeah. But the DLC, I mean, there was like a few other minor like they had a big amount of patch notes. They added a few quality of life features. They increased the level cap in both difficulty modes by like 5 levels. But again, when I reached the end of it, I was like, I don't know if this was $10 was right. It's obvious to me. It was like, this is a Square Enix tax for this. You're clearly paying like premium for this.
Yeah.
But it was still enjoyable. It wasn't like it was bad. Like, oh man, this is like was not up to par. It just felt like more goodness from the game, and then like rewarded people for if you wanted just like something more insane in terms of like the battles. But it wasn't like doing anything like new combat wise in terms of like your abilities. It just didn't introduce a lot of new things. It felt like this could have just been part of the game in the first place, but clearly, they didn't. They said they didn't work on this till after the game, released. Probably why this came out so quickly is because it feels so much like the regular game.
Yeah. I think, honestly, 10 was okay for it. Just like 3.5 hours. It's like fucking cheaper than a movie or whatever. And I'm sure this wasn't very cheap to make. But, I guess if you're like hesitant, just hold off. This is like the small DLC. The next one's going to be like the bigger one, probably. It'll probably be like twice or 3 times as long.
Yeah, if this one's 10, that one's probably going to be 15 or 20. Yeah. Because the season pass was 25. So I assume it's 20.
It'll probably be $20.
I feel like, it's got to be 30 individually. Otherwise, you're not like saving any money. Yeah. The kicker for me is going to be how long the Rising Tide ends up being. Like, I'm expecting it to be at minimum a 15-hour thing. I know it's like, 5 times longer. Why? Because they're charging $20 base price for that. A 14 expansion is $40, and that's like 60 hours and so much stuff. I was like, this is the same team. And I'm like, I know this is a higher fidelity game, so factoring in that like this is maybe a little bit more expensive to develop, proportionally like reducing it, like this is half the price of that. So I'm not asking for 30 hours. I'm like, give me like even like reduce that by half, like 15 hours. Like the Rising Tide needs to be like closer to 15. Like 10 is probably the bare minimum, but like I feel like it needs to run into the teens. And if it doesn't, that may mean I could see a lot of people might be on that alone might be a little disappointed. But who knows, like quality wise, but what it's gonna be. But also just to point out, the fonts for both of these are both 14 fonts, by the way. The R and the G in the Rising Tide are literally ripped from like the Realm Reborn font. So.
Yeah,
I'm expecting Brad. I'm expecting some a new version of a certain Mighty Boss Tones song.
Oh yeah,
Mighty Boss Tones.
Yeah, that's gonna be
the primals.
100%. Yeah, I think it'll be probably 10 hours, maybe a little longer. There is gonna be some Square Enix tax, at least like $5 usually from them.
How much was intermission?
Intermission?
Yeah,
I think it was 20.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm not sure.
Because that shit was so good.
Yeah, I think it was 20. I think.
Yeah,
but I can't recall.
Okay.
That was like that amount of time. Also.
Yeah.
It was. It felt like.
Yeah, it was
very
beefy.
Good.
You go all in on Fort Condor.
Yeah,
and,
I think it was probably like 10 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I'm
like that
saying.
level.
Like, it has to be like up to that level.
I think it'll be like that scale, probably. Yeah.
See, that's why Intermission is such awesome DLC too, because it's like in between.
Yeah, the game.
Yeah, I love that.
Well, they're different circumstances.
Yeah.
There's no 16th sequel coming that we know of or anything like that.
For sure.
But anyways, cool. Great DLCs all around right now.
Yeah.
All right,
I can't wait to play this.
Oh yeah, you will. You're gonna have a good time. It's time for Sort It Out. The segment where we complain about something, game, company, person in the game industry, whatever we're feeling.
Mm-hmm.
What do you feel like sorting? Who needs sorting right now? Damn it! Besides layoffs.
Okay, I was about to say.
I got more drift.
Okay, the classic.
Yep. Now I got that. I got a black controller, like less than a year old.
Damn, dude.
Drift on the left stick.
Sucks, man.
Blood was asking, he's like, do you play a lot of games where you use L3, R3?
Yeah.
And I realized.
Yeah, because you're tapping it
Fortnite.
for sprint. Yeah.
Sprint and like crouch and stuff.
You need to get a DualSense Edge so you can do the back buttons.
Yeah.
Shit.
So I really think that has to be
maybe
it. That has to be a contributing factor.
Yeah. I if you use them a lot, probably. Maybe.
Lot.
Yeah.
I'm hitting that L3 all day, every day.
Yeah. And it's always that stick.
Always L3. Always L3.
Yeah, that might be it, dude. I don't know.
4 drifts.
It's very unfortunate and really shitty that keeps happening to you. Because, I mean, I see DualSenses on sale actually a lot now, which is pretty cool. But
It's
like, they're still, if
expensive.
they're base price, they're expensive.
Yeah.
But I see them for like $50 a lot. But still, $50 is $50. You know, that's almost a game.
Yeah.
It sucks. Yeah. I don't know what's going on with that. I don't know how we could help you. Watch the pressure. I don't know what else to tell you.
I know,
It's like, I don't
gripping,
know.
yeah.
Yeah, it's annoying, dude.
People watch me stream COD. They know I grip that controller.
Yeah.
I accidentally melee so often. So often someone will be shooting at me and they'll just like melee accidentally because I'm like, ah.
That's really funny, dude. Damiani, what about you? Anything?
Yeah, you said no layoffs because I mean it's not another set of layoffs, but I was gonna say, sort it out to Embracer because we got the leaked concept art and screenshots from the Time Splitters project they were working on.
Yeah.
And they shut down Free Radical, so we're not getting this new Time Splitters and those Old West shots. Oh,
Yeah, the town. It reminded me of TF2.
yeah, the Old West town. I was like, dude, with the coffins outside. Like,
Yeah,
I was
it's
like,
so
brutal.
I was like, no, man.
Dummy, I'll tell you what, dude. This is the final episode of Frame Trap, so we're going to do something special. We're going to make Embracer the ultimate sorted out. The Omega sorted out is the
Yep.
sorted out of sorted out.
Giga Omega.
It is the permanent sorted out for all time. It's
Yep.
Embracer
All right,
Group.
it has been enshrined.
Yes.
Yeah.
We will remember.
All
right. For me, I guess I don't really know. I don't know. I don't know what the fuck's bugging me right now. I don't know, dude.
Hopefully nothing.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm like, what's bothering me right now? I don't fucking know what's bothering me right now. I don't think anything.
That's a good place to be
right now. At the top of my head, I
Yeah.
can't think of anything. I don't know. We'll see if something comes up later if I think of something.
Yeah.
Let's see. Alexander Zirinoff wrote in, sorted out. Rockstar Games.
Ooh.
Why the release of GTA 6, or why doesn't the release of GTA 6 include PC version? PS5 and Xbox Series S are already old gen by 2025. The gap between PC and consoles will get even wider. I expect GTA 6 to be visually impressive, which means looking better than Cyberpunk 2077 and Alan Wake 2. And we all know that PlayStation and Xbox can't even dream about 4K path ray tracing at 60 FPS. And while I'll easily wait for the PC release to play the game, many other graphics enthusiasts don't have my patience and will have to settle for the compromised version sorted out.
They've already talked about this, Alexander. It's about resources. It's about sales. The console versions sell way more than PC. And like you said, the PC version is way different. There's way more technologically advanced shit going on in there.
Yeah.
And that takes away from the console versions, which are very similar to each other. So that is...
And I get people say, like LOL Rockstar indie company or whatever, but it's just like, I don't know. I'm not a dev. That's just what they said.
They're all in on that. And then also, too, like from a business side, you can re-release. You get another release for this game. You get more hype. You get in the news cycle again.
Yeah.
You get that PC version. You get people double dipping because they can't wait and they buy the console version.
Then you'll get triple dippers in the future, like Mike.
Yeah, remasters, exactly.
You're selling it, Mike's buying it.
And then also one of my like that's all facts. One of my theories is my random theory is mods and shit.
Yeah,
they want you to play their crafted campaign, their version of the game the way it is.
Sure.
Versus mods, but
yeah, I understand as a PC player, 100% the frustration. You don't want to be able to play the game when it comes out.
100%. But they did talk about resources.
But that's just the way it is right now. Hopefully, it just won't take so long. Hopefully, like I'm gonna say it's gonna be a year.
Yeah.
Until the PC version comes out, but you never know.
That version will sing, Alexander. Holy crap.
PS5 Pro.
Yeah, the PS5 Pro.
Because Alexander, you're probably singing with Red Dead 2, 60 frames on PC. Yeah. Still not on console, still 60 frames. Seriously. Red Dead 2 superior version.
Yep. PC has it. All right. Now it's time for Keep It Up. The opposite. What are we loving right now? Hubert, I'm just going to give you yours. You're loving God of War right now. You're loving
what a
Valhalla.
gift.
That's your keep it up.
Keep it up. Like, this has no business being free. It's also sorted out. What are you doing? You're making everyone look bad now, Santa Monica.
First party, dude.
Now when I have to pay for something, I'm going to be like, why do I have to pay for anything anymore? Because Valhalla was free.
Yeah. Games take money, cost money to make. Just remember, everybody. Costs money.
This is like, what? It's crazy that
it
it's
is
free.
crazy. It is
it's
crazy.
mind-blowing.
I assume Last of Us would have been free too.
Yeah.
But they did the next gen version also, so that's maybe the $10.
Yeah, you get the no return mode. You get the Last of Us, or the
You get some extra stuff.
Yeah,
which
and
is cool.
Going from PS4 to PS5,
Like $10, like $10 all day.
Yeah.
On that, $10 all day.
Yeah,
Dumani, what about you, dude?
it's crazy.
I wasn't. One wasn't coming ahead. One wasn't popping into my head, and
Okay.
but I saw a headline. Maybe this will be like more for Huber. But I mean, it's sad news. But we're giving shout out to James McCaffrey.
Yeah.
Passed.
Legend.
The voice of Max Payne.
Devastating.
Unfortunately, passed away.
And Alex
but
Casey.
how much you talk about Max Payne, dude?
Yeah.
Like, obviously, the character left a mark on you.
That game was ahead of its time when it came out on so many ways. Visually, the bullet time mechanic, and the storytelling. And a lot of that was his voice acting. Obviously, writing and presentation are huge factors.
Yeah.
But his performance as Max will live on forever. So that is something.
That is sick.
That's what I try to think about when people are lost like that, you know?
Yeah.
Devastating.
Just
It feels so like one of these happened just so suddenly. It's like, what?
Comes out of nowhere, man.
Yeah, like I woke up to that and I was like, wait, what?
Yeah. It's sad.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give the Eternal keep it up, just the Eternal one now, because we did sort it out. I'm gonna give it to Capcom.
Hell
I don't think
yeah.
we've told anyone to keep it up more than Capcom.
No, we have not.
We got Monster Hunter. What's it called?
Wilds
coming out.
Yeah.
That's gonna be fucking amazing. We got Dragon's Dogma 2 coming up. It's gonna be amazing.
So close all of a sudden.
We got like 4 Resident Evils in production, probably.
At least 4.
If there's a year without a Resident Evil game, it's gonna be like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Where's my Resident
They
Evil?
are cooking hard. Street Fighter 6 was really good. They are just fucking firing all cylinders right now. They're insane.
Absolutely.
Extra Primal, a little miss, but we'll sweep that under the rug.
This is fun when we
It's
streamed
fun.
it at least.
It's fine. It's not bad.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah.
I'm just used to fucking incredible games from them, so it's
Yeah.
just like, eh.
Totally.
All right, Willie.
Wait, are we gonna get Resident Evil 9 before another remake? What do you think?
Yeah, I think so.
9? Do you think 9 is the next Resident Evil
Whether it's
game?
9 or just a new Resident Evil game, I think that'll be it. Not a remake next.
Okay.
Willie Diaz wrote in, keep it up. More games adding hefty modes as updates. God of War and Last of Us adding roguelike modes is a great incentive to keep people coming back to play, especially if they come with new trophies to earn. True.
I got all the trophies.
This is from Gavin. Keep it up, easy allies. With all the changes coming up, I just want to say that I love you all, and I really hope that this improves everyone's quality of life. Michael, Don, Daniel, Isla, Gabby, and Brad, you are all wonderful people. No matter what 2024 brings, I am excited for what it may mean for you all. My favorite Easy A memory is that we've made it 200 episodes of Frame Trap. That's a huge feat.
Heck yeah.
Love and respect. Thank you, Gavin. Yes.
Thank you so much. I'll
200
respect to you.
on this episode, 400 on the podcast.
Hell yeah.
Killing it.
Hundreds of
All right.
hours of content.
This is from Chris Iverly. Keep it up, Santa Monica Studio. I was really blown away by what they accomplished with Valhalla,
Next level.
and the fact it was free was even sweeter. I will admit, I wasn't expecting to love it as much as I did when it first announced, mainly because I wanted a big story expansion, and when I heard it was a roguelite mode, I was really let down at first, but they proved me wrong. Also, just want to give a shout out to you, Brad. You're always been great at Easy, whether it was hosting Frame Trap or to your reviews, or just giving your thoughts and opinions on things. I've always appreciated your input and take on things. I'll miss seeing you on a regular basis, but I'm happy to hear about your upcoming new opportunity. You're one of the best, Brad. Keep it up to you, good sir. Thank you,
Heck yeah.
Chris Irely. We appreciate it. God of War is good. Feels good, man.
So good.
Yeah,
I love roguelite modes.
Yeah, you fucking do.
I
You
love
roguelite modes.
roguelite modes.
You sure do.
Darkest Dungeon, shout out.
Shout out, Darkest
Shout
Dungeon. Fuck, I need to get back to that. I gotta
out.
buy the DLC.
Yeah, the DLC's out. I haven't
Yeah.
even played it.
I gotta get to it. You're playing God of War, man.
I know God of War was just like, yo, pushing everything aside.
You gotta be 16 because it's short.
Yeah, well, 100%.
One sitting.
I will.
We got some shout outs, as always, for some of our most generous patrons over there on patreon.com/easyallies, where you can go if you would like to support all of us over there. We'd greatly appreciate it, so please check it out. These are some of our highest tier patrons on the Platinum Producer tier. We got Jabawabs, Elthanis, Greg the Dark Knight Kettering, and Jesse Blue. Thank you, everybody, for supporting us.
Shout out.
We appreciate it. Let me make sure I didn't miss anyone. 'Cause
Shout the
sometimes
hell
we
out.
add them out of nowhere. Just want to make sure. Oh, and Raymond Wheeler III.
Heck yeah.
Got Raymond there. I just wanted to make
Got
sure.
you.
So thank you, Raymond. We appreciate it.
Everybody loves Raymond Wheeler III.
Everyone loves Raymond.
See what I did there?
Yes, I did. I liked it. I did like that. Huber, you've been playing some other games too.
Yeah.
What have you been playing, man?
Two other things.
Two things. What do you got?
First up, real quickly. Incident at Grove Lake.
Okay. What the hell is that?
Okay, so this is on itchy.io. Do we say Itch.io?
I don't know. That's a valid question.
I like Itch.io. You can get this game for free if you want. I gave him $5. The recommended is $2. It starts out as $2.
More than doubled it. Hell yeah.
I was like, yo, you're making some
$5?
sick,
All
making
day.
some sick horror game. Like
Yeah.
you're out here like grassroots, you know? So this is a low poly, like PS1 style,
That shit is so popular.
first person horror game. The less you know, the better.
Okay.
One sitting game. Best games to play in one night for sure. Very short. Very sweet. If you like the X-Files
Oh.
and or VHS horror series, I highly recommend this little gem of a game.
Okay.
Yeah, there's really not much to say about it because it is so short and it is just you don't want to know much going in, but yeah, just low poly visuals, first person, not a lot of controls, not even a lot of settings in the menu. It's like, do you want windowed or full screen?
Okay.
It's like, you know, what's your resolution? That's it. So very low budget, but you know,
You loved
just
it.
yeah, just one of those things where it's like, man, you can do so much in video games, whether you have the most insane Naughty Dog budget or like you're just one person with absolutely no budget. It is such a golden age for video games. It also made me just think about like we should celebrate more than tear down video games.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Like sometimes I'll get shit for like being too easy on games, and it's like, what you know, I'll call things out when they need to be, but like, do they always need to be called out? It's like, this game is just another example of like, video games are the best way a story can be told, in my opinion. For me personally, I love movies, you know, books are cool too, but like video games are so powerful. And this is just one of those things where it's like, yeah, there it is. Video games.
Hell yeah.
Highly recommend.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
Cool. All right. I want to check this out.
Yeah.
Just
Incident
remind me.
at Grove Lake.
Yeah.
It's on Itch.io.
Yeah, it's
$2.
really short. It says average
Really
play
short.
time 20 to 25 minutes. Holy crap.
There you go.
Cool.
Right when you boot it up, it's like, we recommend playing in one sitting and using headphones. Done.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Check it out.
What else?
And then lastly, Air Twister.
Dawn.
Dawn, get in here. From EaseNet, Yu Suzuki is back with a Space Harrier type game. Now, I was talking to Dawn a little bit about this, and we both had one criticism, and that's the slow movement of the game. A little slow. I think of Space Harrier, and Space Harrier has like a fast-paced grittiness to it.
Blinding speed.
There's speed and there's grit.
Yeah.
Space Harrier is also in Space Harrier. I love how you can land on the ground and your character runs.
Yes.
You don't do that in this.
Yeah.
But this game, it has like a too clean of a look. It's too shiny and clean. It was a mobile game originally, but it's like Space Harrier. Don, it did start to grow on me the further I got and the more I played.
That's what I was curious about.
Yes.
Yes, this does look like Space Harrier.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very brief. There's like no story really. It's like these aliens come and like blow up this like fantasy town, and you're this lady that can like float around, and then you kind of use like animals too on the main bosses as like you like glide on them. Main mode is arcade mode. And once you die, you have a couple continues, but there's like hard game overs. When you're playing it though, you can earn the currency, level up, little bit of roguelite aspects to it. Just a
smidge.
hint. Yeah. You can unlock, there's like a big like Final Fantasy X looking good.
Tier grid?
Maybe it kind of looks like Path of Exile in a way, actually.
Oh.
Obviously not that
Oh my
insane.
God.
Not
Okay.
that insane.
Okay.
Not that insane. But you follow like the pathing and you can like upgrade, your health and unlocks and cosmetics, tons of cosmetics. Not a lot of controls. You can just move around and it'll lock on, and you can level up how many targets you can lock onto. That's a really good upgrade. And then you can also just free fire. And it started to kind of get addicting, Don. It really did. Just with the pace of the game, just kind of like how many. Because it really encourages you to, one, not get hit, and then two, clear each wave of enemies fully. Yeah. And I kept wanting to get far. I was like, I'm kind of addicted to this, because levels are really short. Levels are like, no joke, because it was a mobile game originally. Levels are like 4 minutes, it feels like. And then you fight some big freako boss. And the bosses have an okay variety, It depends on what they are. There'll be like a crab one that'll guard its weak points. There'll be like a floating friggin' octopus type one that has its weak points really spread out. They can do really cool attacks where they like attack the screen and the Damiani, dude, the like screen will have like these big arrows coming down, like avoid that part, like fly over here. There'll be stage hazards too that you need to dodge. And the game, it did have that slow pace on where I was like, I wish it was faster.
Yeah.
But as I got further, at least, the enemies started moving faster themselves to like get away. So that,
yeah, I did notice that.
yeah. So I was like, okay, I'm like trying to kill these enemies quickly, but I do wish it was a little bit faster. Yeah. You have any thoughts?
I do have just a few thoughts. Yeah. Like huge fan of the original Space Harrier.
Yeah.
That's one of those games I have great memories when I was a little kid. I used to always play. My uncle would take me to this Mexican buffet restaurant. They had a Space Harrier right there when you walked in. I would always play that game. The speed was blinding though, and you had that's how it was, like short levels, but a whole bunch of them. A few dozen levels, super short. This game is like, different pacing, the super glossy look. Your main character reminds me of a Dreamcast kind of character
Big
model.
time.
Yeah, right?
100,
kind of like a
Don.
little bit of, in general, kind of the character designs and just the look, the like real polished
that
polygon
sheen.
look. Yeah, that shiny polygon look that you remember from Dreamcast. It evokes that kind of thing. Here's the thing I want from this game that I think that could change everything. It could make it huge. If somehow, Huber, they could convert this to a VR, port.
Oh, yeah.
I think it could be huge in VR because look, first of all, you're always suspended in the air in this. You're high up off the ground, floating through these spaces.
Yes.
That alone, just being in a VR space, would feel like very satisfying, and it would take away the need for speed. You know what I mean? You wouldn't need that. It would feel thrilling just
100%
floating
correct.
along among all these objects if you had that perspective.
Yeah.
Also, the control scheme, Huber, it felt like a scheme. You could tell it came from a tablet. It felt like a touch screen kind of thing. And if that could be translated to, you're extending your arms in that kind of to have motion, it would be very sad. A simple fix where they really wouldn't need to reprogram anything in the game. Like the game is there. It just seems like it's made for VR to me. Like it seems like ripe for a quick little, extremely fun in and out. The level of the length of the levels, everything about it seems like it would serve VR. So
100%,
not bad as it is, just like not extremely engaging. And I think it'd be like totally captivating if they could put it in that space. I don't know if they have any idea for that, but
Don, my first run, I was like, I don't know about this, and then I played again, and I was like, okay, I actually want to see this through to the end. But yeah, I think it's okay. I don't think it's as as obviously Space Harrier is freaking legendary.
Yeah. The biggest issue I had with this, I think, were kind of just the firing mechanics of like you have to kind of hit the enemies in these sweeping patterns, which is okay, but it just I don't know. Maybe I needed to force myself to play it longer, but it just didn't feel satisfying. You know what I mean? As I was going further.
It started to get really satisfying locking on and hitting. It was like nice and crunchy. That's what started to hook me, Don. Is like when I really started to get in this rhythm of like lock on kill, and it just became these like sweeping motions, and like sometimes the enemies would be like spinning around and all the bullets would like track them and stuff. It started to be really cool.
Okay, so I need to give it a little more time. We definitely have to say something about the soundtrack though, right, Huber? What's up with
the soundtrack? Dude, thank you for reminding me. It sounds like fucking Freddie Mercury, dude.
It sounds like some insane like Queen.
I was like, what is this?
Like sci-fi Queen or something. Yeah. It's so epic in scale.
Yeah.
Okay.
Check out the title track. It's called Air Twisters, the title track, listeners. It's seriously like Queen vibes.
Yeah, big fan of Queen vibes for sure.
And I will say one quick shout out. There's these little mini games.
Oh.
One of these mini games, Damiani. Holy shit, I'm obsessed. Like, dude, achieve it yourself vibes.
Oh, no.
Okay. There is a grid of 36 blocks that are all jumbled up out of order, and they're all spinning, and you have to go in order. You gotta match. You gotta click them in order. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Oh man!
And there's 36 of them on a big grid, and they're all spinning. And I was like, oh, I'll crush this. And I was like, wait, where's 9? Where's 9? Like, it is really addicting, really fun. I really like that.
Fun. Yeah, that sounds fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
cool.
So yeah, Yu Suzuki going back to his roots.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah. I love that.
Still making games. Love to see it.
Mm-hmm. You can play Space Harrier in Shenmue.
Yeah, Shenmue. Probably Yakuza game.
Oh, and if you could ever track down that,
in there.
There
Maybe
is the don't forget about the 3DS 3D conversion of
3DS
Space
version.
I mean, that Space Harrier was made to be in 3D, and decades later they did it on the 3DS, and it was
so
worth
badass.
the wait.
There you go.
Dude, yeah, the VR call for this, Dawn, is genius.
Put it on VR.
I think it could be huge.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna get into some emails. Everyone who joined us on patreon.com sent in their emails over there. You won't be able to do it for this show anymore, but you still be able to send in your questions to the Easy Allies podcast if you want to see what everyone's up to, what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
All right, this first question is from Jiggy Diggs. Greetings, Allies.
Greetings.
I've been looking forward to Frame Trap every episode since its inception. Brad, you have carried the mantle with great success, and I feel so privileged to have gotten to enjoy your time over the years with the Allies. That's enough of the sappy stuff, though. My question for the Allies is this. Being a few weeks removed from the Game Awards, how could the award side of the show improve? I'm not talking about the details of how long to let a winner speak or what award gets more screen time, but the awards themselves. This was a big discussion among my friend group while watching together. If 2023 has taught me anything, that's that we have a large variety of games of all high quality that appeal to everyone. So we should have awards that reflect our ever-growing landscape. Should there be a Best Supporting Actor, an Actress Award? Should there be a Best Performing Game, Best Open World, Best Motion Capture, Best Side Quests, Best Boss Battles, Best World Building, Best Original Story? I want to poll the Allies on what they think is truly important to award games and also reflect on what people talk about when discussing and reviewing games. Seems weird to reward Tears of the Kingdom for being best action-adventure game when no one up until the point praised the game for being best in the genre till award season. I know Jeff will do Jeff, but I'd love to hear the allies' hot takes on one last time on Frame Trap. By the way, an update on my health from my last post. I was able to get procedure done at Johns Hopkins Hospital, and they fixed my health issue for good. Yes. Thanks for the support, allies, that the hard times.
Hell yeah.
Respect.
Yeah, is it just because of the layoffs that this really blew up this year? Because every year this has been a problem, and like this is the year where it finally blew the hell up. Every year I'm like, can we please let people talk? And everyone's like, yo, we want more announcements. We want more games. Like, that's why we're here. And that was always the case until this year where
He's
everyone...
not asking about
No.
that.
I'm getting there.
Okay.
So everyone is like, you cannot have the show exist in this format, period. It either needs to be a full-blown award show where people are coming up just like the Oscars, giving their speeches, and you're going through an award at a time, all of them. You're not rapid firing 5 awards here. You're going through every single one, and every single winner gets up to speak. You cannot have both ways. You cannot have E3 megaton announcements, trailers, ads, all that, and an award show. You just cannot do it. You just can't do it. You just cannot. And I feel like this year was really crazy because everyone cared that people were getting cut off and not being allowed to talk, because this is one of the best years for video games ever. And we wanted to celebrate that. And it wasn't about celebrating it as much as it was about what's coming out down the line, what's coming out next year. The ads, obviously. Keighley has to have the ads to support it. Does he, though? I don't know. I feel like at this point, you should just have your Summer Game Fest be your E3, and that's where you have your megaton announcements. And for the Game Awards, it actually is the Game Awards, and that's it.
But they want to know, should there be more categories, though?
Yeah, I think by making it 100% an award show,
yeah, but which ones do you want to see?
I mean, I guess more acting awards, like supporting would be cool. There's already so many, though. Think about how many there are already. Like, what more?
I think you can cut a lot of the esports ones. Best esports coach, you could totally cut that shit.
Yeah, but...
Maybe you can keep best esports game, I guess. I think you can cut a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah, I mean... It is a huge part, like we don't cover it, but it also is a huge part of this industry. And the Game Awards should be about celebrating the industry as a whole, and that is a big slice.
Yeah, but I think some of these other categories, like I think a best supporting actor is more important than best esports coach.
To most people, yeah, probably.
I would say the vast majority.
Yeah. But I mean, I can't speak for like esports fans, but like, you know, it's about like.
I mean, it got so bad, dude, with the esports coach. Like, one of the guys wasn't even a coach for that year.
Totally.
It's like when we get to that point, it's like, bro, you got to cut that.
Yeah, that's a great point. But it's also like if this show pivoted to a 100% legitimate awards show and not an E3 type thing, then those inconsistencies and weird situations would hopefully be shored up.
Sure.
You know, if that was the primary focus.
Yeah, I think the Game Awards is always going to be a hybrid. It's never going to be one or the other all the way.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is. I mean, people do watch the show for announcements. A lot of people watch the show just for announcements. I think for awards, like the industry, maybe people in the industry maybe care more about like DICE awards maybe or something like that. I have no idea. I know the Game Awards is super important to a lot of people, but I think it's just always going to be in the middle. I do think Keighley, yeah, of course he's got stuff he can clean up and make better. So hopefully he will.
I would just love it if it was like the Oscars. That's it. Think about that. Think about that vibe right now.
Yeah, but
listening.
That's like the other shows, a lot of the other ones.
But you can have your E3. He has 2 shows now.
Yeah.
Summer Game Fest can be just that.
Yeah.
And then this can be like it would still be hype as shit. I mean, come on. You're showing like Just like the Oscars does, it shows a clip of the person's performance. Like, it shows a clip of the movie. It shows some music, that is celebrating the year. And it is at the end of the year to celebrate that.
Yeah, I think Keighley can have it both, but he needs to cut some stuff. Like, he doesn't need Kojima to speak for, 10, 15 minutes on stage about, nothing, really, I guess. I don't know,
sure.
The teaser maybe was enough, or just a quick thing from him saying it. Doesn't need the Muppet skits. I know he loves the Muppets. It is what it is. I think if he gave everyone talking about our award at least another minute or a minute and a half, it would have been a lot better.
Then that show is
instead of it
long,
just being. I know. I think you just need to make it long.
Yeah, make it long. Settle in.
Yeah. If you want both, you gotta just make it long.
If you want both, for sure. I wish he would split it up.
Yeah. Dominic, what about categories for you? Is there any categories you would like to add? Or
trying to compare these side by side. I mean, they already have how many? 3, 6, 4, 5.
So many
already. They have a lot.
There's
24. They have 31 current right now, whereas Dice has 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Has more awards, I think, or close to the same amount of awards as Dice. But Dice, the thing is, I mean, they some of the awards do feel like they're. This show feels like it's trying to be too many things, so that's why they have some of the categories that you do. For example, we have sports awards. They're not in the Oscars. They're in the ESPYs, or some other person thing has for sports awards. So esports team, esports coach, even though it's video game related.
But they're
Oscars
not
is
athletes,
they're not about
a movie.
Yeah, exactly. So same with television, So I think those awards don't have a place there if it's just gonna be an award show, and you could cut them, but the thing is, the Game Awards is trying to juggle so many different things. And I think, they keep tweaking it. I don't know. You have people who, you have existing award shows. You have DICE, you have the GDC awards, which are generally viewed as more more serious, I guess, is a way to phrase it. I mean, prestigious, the Game Awards are probably the highest profile because, people it has so many eyeballs. That's the thing. There's money behind this. It's a marketing machine. It's it's a huge juggernaut, and it's probably not going anywhere. But in a perfect world, I know I do think the Game Award should just become something else where it's just a celebration of gaming, but also big game announcements. You could have the best esports, but I think all the other categories, they need to either just pick a handful and that's it, and spend more time. Let those have more time. And you're not a big award show. You're just this big celebration show, celebrating the end of a good year or whatever, and leave all these categories to an actual award show. But yes, in terms of awards, I'd like to see. So maybe
trim the categories. That's a in an imperfect world, that's a pretty good alternative, Damiani. Honestly, you cut a bunch.
I don't know how what you do from here other than you make minor tweaks here and there, because it already was so damn long. I don't know what you do. You can't have this thing become longer. Adding more is just going to make the thing longer. You have to subtract to add at this point. So it's
and the viewers are, I mean, what, 100 million people or something watch this. He's not going to change the formula too much, because at the end of the day,
it's working.
It's the announcements, and it is working for sure. And it is the announcements that people are tuning in for.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate. But
Summer
Game
Fest.
Fest.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
The genre awards are kind of already the same between all almost all of these. Where I think where I feel there needs to if you're going to change out some awards, getting more craft awards, because the award should be rewarding people who are making the games. And while we do have best soundtrack, we have best performance, we have stuff like that. I'm just double checking, and we have the genre, and then we have the social impact ones, accessibility games, which are good awards to have. The Game Awards are, to me, are very they're lacking in the craft awards. For example, the DICE awards have outstanding achievement in game direction, so best game director, best game design, outstanding achievement in animation, art direction, achievement in character, I guess that would be like performance, original music composition, audio design, achievement in story, and in technical achievement. And that stuff like that seems more analogous to like the Oscars when you have like all those like achievement in like sound design, sound editing. And then so I'd like to see maybe like some of like the
They have best sound design.
Yeah, they have a lot of those.
They have a lot of those.
But like what about like art direction, animation,
They do
best
have
game
that,
director?
They have
Alan Wake 2,
direction.
baby.
Yeah.
They have best
They have
game
best
director.
direction. They have best game
They
direction.
have best art direction, but like they don't have like technical, and they don't have best director.
No, they don't have best
They don't have
direction.
best
They have best direction though.
Yeah.
Best
Okay.
game direction.
All right, I guess it's also part of it. The way some of these awards are worded, like I don't like them either. Like like what is like best game direction? I mean, it says it on there, but I don't know. Like if I'm just like looking for something, I prefer like Dice's format. It's like easier for me to understand. I don't know. I don't know what to say.
It's just
like,
a bummer because I feel
it's never going to be a pure award show, and like no one's going to be happy from it from an awards standpoint. And so like I find this like futile to talk about like what categories.
Well, no, I think you were right, dude. You should cut the categories at this point.
Yeah.
Exactly. You should cut them because in a perfect world, it's like you have your Summer Game Fest. You have Summer Game Fest that you can load it up with days of announcements and world exclusives. You know, so many there. And then it should, I wish, you know, in my perfect world, it should just be about celebrating the year at the end. The Game Awards. That is what it is called.
Yeah. They should, honestly, I would tell them to like split this into two. This should not be, you're doing too much in one thing. Make this a multi-day thing.
2-night WrestleMania, yeah.
You have the announcement show, like whatever we call it, the Winter Game Fest or whatever announcement show. And then you do like whatever is most beneficial to do the awards first or after, whichever is going to get the most eyeballs to care. You do that. You do the awards one night and then you do the announcements the other.
Yeah.
And then during the day in between, like you have like the celebration. So like you can do like an event like celebrating esports, but it's not like really in either. Cause like, I don't feel like it really belongs in either of those types of events, but he could expand it actually and do like more, you know, he could have like, like an on-site thing that like lasts a little bit longer, kind of like Summer Games Fest a little bit.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. This next one's from Obisco. Hello, dear allies. First, thanks to all of you, especially Brad and Ben, for doing this show. It was always my favorite. To my question, I see a trend developing that is alarming for my OCD tendencies. Games getting new content patched in a long time after release. Just a short time ago, I read some of the best games like Cyberpunk got hangouts with romance partners and a metro system, and Baldur's Gate Patch 5 gets a new playable epilogue with extra dialogue, and Alan Wake 2 New Game Plus with new ending. And while this is really awesome for the developers, or really awesome the developers do this, I am asking myself, when do I dive into those games? I would rather wait for the content complete version than dive into it. While there are so many cool features being added that I miss, I also don't really mind replaying some remasters, or besides sometimes remasters, they don't mind replaying those. What do you think about this, and how are you approaching your games? Love and respect from Germany, and all the best for future endeavors, Brad. So, when to hop into a game when they're constantly updating games so long after they come out, like Cyberpunk getting updates 3 years later.
Yeah. It all depends. I mean, Cyberpunk's obviously a weird situation. I waited for that shit to get patched.
Right.
But even
You missed out on Phantom Liberty and all.
Well, I'm gonna play
out.
Phantom Liberty.
I know, but it wasn't out when you played.
Yeah, but that like DLC to me is different than patches. That's a whole nother apples and oranges in my opinion.
Yeah.
I did miss out on the Metro system and the romantic hangouts.
Yeah.
So be it. But even Jedi Survivor, I waited for all that, all those technical. So if there's technical issues, I have no problem waiting. But then you get into a situation now like Final Fantasy XVI where it does feel like that DLC would be better on a normal playthrough. So I think it's just case to case.
I do too. It's hard to say, man,
Yeah,
when to hop into a game because you never know what usually the extent of what a developer's going to do.
Yeah.
Like, if the game's, like, broken or whatever, you know, and you're like, then maybe just wait a little bit. But in terms of new content, it's like, who knows when they're going to add stuff unless they, like, say explicitly, like, beforehand, like, hey, we're doing this and this later or something like that. Then I guess you can wait. But
yeah,
if you want to play the game, man, just play the game.
Just play.
Just play the game.
Unless there's tech issues. Maybe wait it out.
Yeah. But, yeah. What do you think, Damiani?
I mean, I feel like you know how I feel about like DLC coming out too long after a game comes out. Like I just absolutely like don't like that.
Yeah, you're done with it.
Like anything like over 6 months, like the first part of a DLC, like some DLC plan needs to be out within 6 months of a game's release. And even I think like the 6 months is like on the long end. Like,
hey, listeners, remember this. Clip this right now for when that Elden Ring DLC comes out. Clip this right now.
Oh, I still think that I still think that's like too long. I would have preferred the DLC to already been out by now. But because Elden Ring has the pedigree that does, there's exceptions. Like games that are so goddamn good and you just want more of it and you like, when's the next FromSoft? Like when's the next like Souls-like game? And it's like, there isn't one. We had Armored Core, which, you know, it's its own thing. But the Elden Ring DLC is probably coming out before the next of anything like that they're working on.
Yeah, their next major project.
And like they're like from what we're looking at, they're making a big deal out of this. Like it could be like an expansion or something. So like that's different. Expansion's different. If you're going to tout something as an expansion, that's fine. But then you need to be upfront and say something about that, in my opinion. Or when you know it's going to be expansion, be transparent about it. I'd prefer that. But like short DLC, like anything that's under 10 hours, I would say, you know, especially the 5 and under types of DLC, you got to get that shit out like within like 3 to 6 months max. I don't understand how you could wait like over a year. And you can, if you like, some of it can be broken up. Like start releasing things as soon as you can. And keep people interested in that game. Like you make it like a content roadmap. It's like, all right, we're gonna be supporting this game for a year with DLC. 3 months after this, you're getting like this first thing. It could just be like quality of life adjustments, whatever, just something to get people to dive back in. Throw in some new costumes. Like that's what 16 did. Like, oh, here's like new outfits for the characters. Like got everyone to like log in for at least 5 minutes to play it for a second. And like, okay, cool. I mean, you probably have something more substantial than that, but I feel like you got to do that because this year there's just so many games. I'm like, sorry, I'm like, with the exception of like, you know, I guess, I mean, 16's. No, I played Future Redeemed. I mean, I guess it's like comes to personal choice, but like the point is it's still very hard to jump into extra content when you have a loaded year like this. So you don't always have the luxury of like, there isn't that much coming out. So a year later, sure, we're just feeling like my understanding is that like DLCs to come out to fill out like, you know, dead time. Like we don't have a major release coming out, you know, in this quarter. Let's put out like that's when the DLC for this game will come out. So like people are at least talking about one of our products in this quarter. We're making some money as a company. It was like the corporate, you know, the shareholders. That's like, you know, they wanted, you know, where are we making more money? All right, like this. Now it's like, I know it takes a long time to make, but some of these games, it's like people move on. At least for me, I just sometimes like I keep going back to it. Like the biggest one was Kingdom Hearts 3. I just could not, like they said it was gonna be a year later. I'm like, sorry, I'm checked. Like I got this. I played this game. I enjoyed it. I don't need this. But for a lot of people, they liked it. I get it. That's why it's a me thing. I get it. People have different opinions, but it's really on a case-by-case basis, honestly. Like, which ones matter to you and which don't. Yeah.
Yo, Remind's so hard.
Yeah, it is.
Holy shit.
It's tough as fuck. Cool. All right, boys. Oh, wait, hold on. I'm going to read this just because they say something at the very end here that you like.
Okay.
All right, this is from Reptile Scorpio.
Hell yeah.
Howdy, allies. Frame Track was perfect. Just a bunch of friends bantering about the fun times they were having with games. This was the podcast that converted me to the medium, and I've been hooked on YouTube ever since. I knew I was in for a fantastic day when Ben, Brad, and Huber were on together, typically for a much longer video than usual. I was worried that when Ben left, the positive beacon for gaming discussion would be lost, but Brad did an amazing job keeping the cozy vibes while making it better with Sorted Out. being a perfect little outlet for complaints while leaving the rest of the podcast for positivity. Thank you so much for the best of times. Also, I'm so glad to get to return the worlds of Final Fantasy XVI and God of War. The developers spent so much time and energy. It sucks to see them being one and done releases. Fantastic excuses for replay, and I can't wait for the inevitable Alan Wake 2 stream that Hubert does. The Final Draft update is a fantastic idea that I'd love to see in other games. What recent worlds would the allies like to revisit in the form of DLC or an update? I'm still annoyed we didn't get more DLC for
Sekiro.
Watch Dogs 2.
Oh, dude, Watch Dogs 2 shout out.
Yeah, that's why I saw Watch Dogs 2 and I was like,
Dude.
all right, I have to read that from Mike.
Truly one of Ubisoft's best video games.
Yeah.
Criminally underappreciated. Watch Dogs 2. Such a good game. That open world San Francisco.
Yeah, you loved it.
So good.
Blood liked it.
That cast is insanely good for a Ubisoft game, especially because like on its surface, like Wrench and stuff, you're like, oh, who are these like standard Ubisoft characters? No. No, they have depth. They have layers. Marcus, one of their best protagonists ever.
Yeah. So what game would we like to see?
Sekiro.
No, recent game. Let's say they said
Sekiro.
recent game. That was
Sekiro.
2019.
Sekiro.
It did get DLC, but it wasn't. I know it's not story DLC,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it's an update.
It was cool.
Boss
It was
rush
cool.
mode was cool.
Yeah.
Some costumes.
It was cool.
Any recent worlds though? Any recent games were like, man, I wish I could go back for some new content. I'll just say, Tears of the Kingdom, I could have done with like one more dungeon.
Yeah.
I can go for one more.
Okay.
Sure. This question, I mean, I don't know how recent. I don't remember when this game came out. It came out in the last.
It's okay
few
if it's
years.
like 2 years old. I'll say.
Like the ones that should be getting DLC, like what I just was arguing about, like I don't want to take forever. The games that should be getting DLC and like don't get DLC, like Mario Party, the Mario Party games are like the most recent ones. Like we're like waiting
Yeah,
around forever, and they're like
Great pick.
all like those old Mario sports games. They get like small little updates, and they don't get like those are the ones like that should be getting like why aren't they doing like cranking those out more? Like why aren't like these games sell so well? Why aren't you just like writing those games a little bit longer? Nope. It's like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
All these things they could add into them. It's sometimes Nintendo they just don't do what you expect.
Just Nintendo.
I got one.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Well, I think two. I have three, but two of them I feel like there's hope for DLC.
Okay.
One is Blasphemous 2.
Okay.
I feel like there will be
There's
DLC for
hope,
that.
for sure.
And Spider-Man 2.
Yes, there's probably
feel
gonna
like
be
we're
DLC.
gonna-
Oh yeah.
But now it's been a while, and I don't think there's going to be any DLC. Dead Space.
No, there
Yeah.
won't be.
Dead
That'd be
Space.
interesting though if it like led into Tomb
Yeah,
somehow
could have
more.
gone for maybe
Yeah,
something
or
there,
prequel.
yeah.
Some I don't know.
Just an excuse to go back on the Ishimura or somewhere else
Yeah.
even. Like, some prequel shit.
Because like wasn't Dead Space Extraction like?
Canon, yeah.
Yeah, they could have maybe done something with those people. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think they're just going on to 2. But yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
All right, boys. Final question. This is from Bam541. I chose this again because there's a certain game in here that
Sekiro.
Huber. No. Hi, allies. I recently started playing GTA 5 again after not touching the base game at all since 2014.
Yep.
When I only had it on my PS3. It's been a blast. The PS5 version is simply top notch.
It is.
But I have gained a new appreciation for the story.
Hell yeah.
Mostly
I'm
because
gonna send out a bitter tweet as soon as this ends, so be ready for it.
Okay, mostly because I actually understand English much better now. I understood pretty much all the lingo in the writing so far, and there's lots of subtle meanings and details that I caught. My question is, do you guys have any similar experiences where your replay through of an old game makes you appreciate it more because of a real life skill that you have learned since the last time you played it? Love and respect. Thank you, Brad, for taking the mantle of Frame Trap after Ben left. I wish you the best of luck, and I hope you can still hang out with the allies often. I will.
I don't know if
Real life skill is difficult. for
that's
us.
difficult. That's
Yeah.
difficult.
Second language is a perfect example.
That's a great one.
But like,
Yeah, real life skill, no, but
We'll just do like
replaying any. I love replaying games because
Yeah.
I just see more. I appreciate more. It's all about perspective and mindset. Like I adore replaying video games, but no real life skills to change it up really at all.
Yeah, dude, I think honestly the same. Your answer is the same as his GTA 5. How much you're just like loving it and remembering. You said like how much more variety is that you remember.
A lot more. Yeah. And Red Dead 2, I replayed last year, and that was like truly the best replay of my entire life. And it went from like, yo, I love Red Dead 2. It's one of my favorite games ever made to like, yo, Red Dead 2 might be like, I kind of think it is like the best game ever made. Like, it's like, yeah.
What about you, Damiani? Any
I,
replays you just like loved more or anything like that made you appreciate it more?
no,
I got one if you need to think.
I can't think of any of them, and like basically, because like I don't know. Yeah, you got something.
fair.
Sorry.
I'm gonna pick Skyward Sword. Now, there's things about Skyward Sword that I liked less when I replayed it.
Damiani's rolling his eyes
let me
if you're
say,
just
there's
listening.
stuff I liked less in Skyward Sword this time around, but I really appreciated some elements like the dungeons a lot more. Some of the dungeons I thought were really sick. I mean, I'm still smiling.
Still rolling his
The
eyes.
ship with the time mechanic,
Hell
cooler than
yeah.
I remembered. The water one where you like go underground to hell.
Dude, I remember
way
the water
cooler than
temple
I
being
remember. Like,
sick in
more
Skyward
complex
Sword.
than I remembered. I was just like, yo, there's some good dungeons in this game, man.
Hmm.
There's not 10s all around. Some of them are just like whatever, but I just like a couple of them. I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
some of them were. But yes, I did notice some bad things
Hmm.
also more this time.
How'd Girahim hold up?
I like Girahim a lot as a villain. I think he's really cool. I think
yeah.
he's one of the coolest villains in Zelda. Actually,
Hell yeah, same.
there's not many, but I think he's cool. I like him a lot.
Yeah.
I would rather him being the main villain instead of Demise.
Same.
Damiani.
Holding his tongue.
Holding his tongue.
Everyone has their opinions. It's all right.
Yeah, everyone has opinions. That's right. My
I
unpopular
replayed
opinions about
Skyward Sword when it came out in HD. It
Yeah.
just made me dislike it more, but that's okay.
Oh,
It's all right.
Did
I
the
have
opposite,
unpopular
had the
opinions.
opposite effect on me.
I have unpopular opinions about Majora's Mask too. Like the dungeons, I think are not good.
I mean, I don't think the Majora's Mask dungeons are particularly better than any of the other 3D Zeldas.
I would say
I think it's like the strength is they have they don't have that many.
the side quests and the story is the strength of that game.
Yeah, it's the world moving in like on a
that's
like
the
a
strength.
clock cycle, like not quite real time, but like it like feels like it's alive, which is kind of cool.
Yeah,
like lightning
And some-
returns.
that's right.
Yeah, the boss fights were a little.
I like the bull in it. That one's
Yeah,
fun.
I know you like
Oh,
the
the
bull.
goat.
What about the
Yeah.
fish one? What about the water fish one?
Oh my god.
Oh
my God.
There you
Yeah,
go.
Goat's cool. Goat's cool. Yeah, that's such a Huber fight. The negative, I guess, just because I'm thinking about it, is one that made me not appreciate as much as Final Fantasy 13 replay. I was like, oh man,
Yeah.
It's dragging.
it's drag.
It's dragging a little bit.
Dragging, bro.
Holy crap, that game is not.
A little bit of a drag.
Drag. I think it was like that for all of us. We're just kind of like, oh, all right. Didn't age as much as we thought it.
You know, though, at
Visually, it
least,
looks really good still,
and at
though.
least
and the music's good.
whenever Lightning is speaking, it's not dragging.
Yeah,
at
it's
least
all ears.
Lightning still holds up
You have my attention.
as one of my absolute favorites.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Domani, I'll ask you one more time. Did you think of anything that you got a more appreciation for replaying? Any like Souls games or any Zelda game? Any
The thing
Final
is,
Fantasy?
I don't think I only played through Dark Souls once. Dark Souls 3 I played through with Huber. Like Sekiro, I
what
never
about your
did
Resident Evil
replay
4
through.
replays?
I like it just always holds up. Like it's just like a testament to that game. Every time I replay RE4, it just like holds up so well. But like I'm struggling to think of like any new like revelation when playing through. Like, oh god, I didn't realize this through like 15 years of playing this game. I've definitely had moments like that. I just can't think of a specific one where it's like, whoa, dude, I didn't realize this after this long. And like, wish I could just like recall that and like share that. But like,
That's fine.
Nothing is coming to mind. Maybe like
problem.
replaying a more story intensive game like a second time through, because you know what happens. Like kind of like when you watch like a Christopher, like watching Tenet. You gotta like watch it the second time to like fully grasp everything.
Dude.
Some
Like
video
Red
games,
Dead
for
2,
me,
you
it's
have
like
to play
that.
it again.
Yeah. Maybe actually it's not popping on my memory, but I would say this is probably how it happened. When I replayed like Metal Gear Solid 2 for the original HD collection on PS3, I bet that ending wasn't as like insanely ridiculous, because I just remember everyone like shitting on that ending when it came out back in the day. And it's like, oh yeah, when I played through it at game trailers, like, oh yeah, it's still, I mean, we get it. It's over. Like it's Kojima. This is like Kojima started being Kojima in this game, or became known for this after this game. But the ending isn't too ridiculous anymore. You know, it's actually like, I kind of get it, you know?
Sure. Cool, man. That's going to do it. That's a wrap. That's a wrap on Frame Trap. We're fucking breaking out of the Frame Trap, dude. After 200 episodes, we're fucking out of that Frame Trap, dude. Now we're going to Daigo Parry back. All those Chun-Li kicks, we're out of there, dude. We are free.
A patch came out.
We're free from the trap. Yeah, they patched it. We're free from the Frame Trap. They buffed us. The demons are gone in hell. All is well in the world. Michael, thank you for joining me both on many episodes.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks for supporting the show and being on. I needed you boys a lot. Thank you, everyone, for listening and watching over all the years. We appreciate it all the way from the beginning to all the way now. It was an honor to be on the show for you guys and talk games with you. So thank you so much for all of that. We are Easy Allies. Check us out on patreon.com/easyallies. If you don't know, a lot of the game talk still going to be happening. We'll be talking about it on the main podcast, though. So fear not, the game talk will live on.
Yes.
Thank you so much, everyone. Until then, see you, Space Cowboy.